riding 11,000 kilometers until we got to Baja. The best paved section I have ever ridden in my entire life.
It's just very untouched. It's rugged. It's very cool.
This is the Valley Rally Podcast. This one's been long overdue. Rallypoint. Me and Jay Milne's trip down south, all the way to the tip of Baja, Mexico, from Barry's Bay, Ontario. 11,000 kilometers. It was an epic journey. It's been about a year and a little bit since we've come back from that, and this podcast is long overdue. But it's been a busy year, and things just got away from us. But we've managed to finally sit down and record an episode talking about this amazing journey. With us is our good friend Lee Martin from Rally Connects, who was good enough to ride my bike back up to California to have it shipped home along with Jason Milne, because I wasn't available to do that. So Lee was kind enough to fly down, hang with Jay for a bit, and then ride my bike back up. So part one of this episode is going to be Rallypoint, the trip down, and then part two will be all about Jay and Lee's journey back up north with the bikes. All right, folks, this is a long one, two-parter, about 5 hours total. Lots of stuff to talk about, so I hope you enjoy. Cheers.
So we're here.
Live audience
Yeah.
in the studio, in the man cave.
Yep. Okay, we're back in the man cave. Yeah. So
It's been a long time.
this has been a long time coming for this first segment, and pretty much bang on time for the second segment, because we're talking about our trips to Baja. It started from right here in this man cave
It really did, with beers.
with beers.
Yep.
And then literally we rode out of here and kept riding until we got to Baja.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that's the first segment.
Which,
Yeah.
might I
Well,
say,
like-
I did not follow you on that trip, and I think it's an insane trip. Like, that's a long ride.
It was a
man.
long haul.
Holy.
And when we left here, it's noted to say that it was 6 degrees and pouring rain.
I will admit now in hindsight that
cold.
there was a miscalculation on perhaps my part, or perhaps collectively, on
No, I'll blame you, John.
riding 11,000 kilometers nonstop to get to the tip of the Baja. But yeah, what was really aggravating was riding through all the bad weather, and then everybody back home going, "It's amazing here. It warmed up, and it's sunny, and it's beautiful."
And we were south, and it was still cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to give folks a quick recap of what we're talking about is about a year ago, myself and Jason Milne came up with the bright idea of riding our 1090s from here in Barry's Bay all the way down to the very tip of the Baja Peninsula, which is... Yes, that's right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Which
you.
is 11,000 kilometers total. And it took us about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Did it in about 3 weeks.
Yep.
And it was a lot of fun. The first part of the trip was a bit of a challenge, but after that, once we got to New Mexico, it got solid.
Oh, New Mexico is great.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I loved it.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, what was so good about New Mexico?
The name. Just the
name.
name.
It was new.
It was newish, I felt good about it.
It's not the live studio audience is
It's
not
great.
responding.
No, not as quickly as we'd like them to. Yeah.
No, but really, like, what was... I've never been, so I would be intrigued probably.
Well, I think we're skipping ahead, but I think ideally when we were planning it out, we thought about our trip across the U.S. and getting to New Mexico was kind of the first real BDR that we were going to do, I think.
Well, to be perfectly honest with everybody, we thought we were going to be able to ride every single BDR between here and New Mexico on the way down in time.
It wasn't accurate. That was not accurate.
But I blame our stupid measurement system, because we are in kilometers and they're in miles. And a mile is a lot longer than a
Isn't
kilometer.
it ever?
It is, yeah. It's very deceiving.
And like, Distance the Next says 200 miles. It's not just a couple hours away.
No, yeah. I don't know. I think that for me, New Mexico was like the start of the off-road trip we did. I think we touched a few of the BDRs before that.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we did a couple little off-roady sections, but for the most part, it was all slab. It was all.
And we really hauled ass on slab because it was cold.
Yeah.
For the first, week and a half of our trip or longer.
That's right.
It was cold. So I think we just blasted across. Well, we went from here to Tennessee to your buddy Gary's.
Yeah, that was the first main stop.
That was our main stop. We did some bike work. I put a
Still
front tire
cold
on.
Still cold.
It
In
was,
Tennessee?
and it was actually
It was warmer.
Yeah,
but
but
not
I
by
remember
much.
him saying this is unseasonably
Yeah.
cold, and of course we were riding motorcycles through it, which wasn't ideal.
They thought we were crazy.
Yeah, but it was. We had planned on riding from here to there, stopping there, getting our bikes really prepped. We had the triple clamp head straight
Yep.
for both the 1090s, which we knew we'd need for the off-road sections to mount. And then my front tire was done by the time we got there. So that was our first destination, first spot we were going to stop. And it was a good ride. We had a couple really good BDR stuff along the way down.
Yeah, we hit, what is it, the Mid-Atlantic?
Mid-Atlantic,
Yeah,
yeah.
we did a bit of the Mid-Atlantic. Not a big, huge section of it, but we did a little bit of it. And it was great, man. I mean, it was this twisty, ridgy road, a little dirt road that, I mean, you wouldn't want anything wider than a side-by-side on this road. And, big, steep, deciduous forest on one side, and then the hill just dropped. Like, it wouldn't kill you, but there's no way you're getting your bike out after that.
No. And is that not almost exactly where you broke your... Yeah, there's a good shot.
So
for people listening, we're watching pictures of our trip to remember.
Yeah.
There's John's bike on its side.
So that's the very beginning of this section. And so if you've ever, on railway beds, that slag they put down, it's the rocks they use for this gravel road going up this mountain are like that. And I had what is it, the battle axe or something like that. It's like this 50 tire or whatever. And normally on dirt roads it's okay, but on this stuff it was ice. And
sounds like you're making excuses.
I was having some problems. I'm not going to lie, as you can see. Anyways, that drop is steep, so it was a close one.
And didn't you break your rear brake lever
No,
that day or a few days later?
That was in Arkansas.
Oh, it was that long?
We'll
Okay.
we'll get there.
We'll get there. Got it.
Just so you know, the brake lever's in air on that one. It's on high.
Yeah, no, I see that.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
yeah. I knew it wasn't that crash,
I see.
but I thought it was that day. What do you want
So
from me?
this is now well past Tennessee. Is what you're
No,
saying, right?
This is on our way to
This
Tennessee.
is on our way to Tennessee. This
Oh,
is probably
Pennsylvania somewhere.
Pennsylvania or Virginia, beginning of like one of the Virginias.
Yeah.
And it was cold for such a length of time. You were saying that you literally burnt out your electric grips.
I did.
Oh yeah, that's right.
One
We
at
had
a time. Yeah. My left one went first, and which was fine. I could
It's always
still
the
run
left
my
one that goes first.
it's always.
Only if you're right-handed.
That's right. I could run my throttle and put my hand and warm up with the exhaust, and then that worked great till my right one went, and then I had no heated hand grips.
Right.
And it sounds like a real wimpy move, but you kind of need them at 6 degrees and raining.
Oh, yeah. No, totally.
It's kind of important. Yeah.
We hit a balmy 15 degrees that day coming back, and I had
You
them
put them
full
on.
tilt.
That's
Yeah, it's
right.
great.
Yours still work, by the way.
Sure. Oh, by the way.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you.
Oh boy, we're having fun here. So yeah, after that, we got into some really cool terrain right up in there, and I think it was shortly thereafter that we ran into this. Like, it was arguably the best paved section I have ever ridden in my entire life.
Yeah,
on a
that was
motorcycle.
a good section.
So we follow this trail, and we get spit out on this dirt road, and we follow this dirt road out to where it's going to take us back towards the interstate, so we can keep booking some miles. And as we do that, we end up we popped out in some guy's property basically, but it was a public through road, you could tell. So we're riding through, and you can see there's like an airplane, like a little Cessna on one side, and this amazing like vaulted ceiling Viceroy kind of cottage on the one side.
No.
And that's this dude's life.
Yeah,
he just
yeah.
flies in out of this place.
Hangs out on the weekend.
And so we keep riding down this road, and eventually we hook up with the asphalt again, and it is the most twisty, beautiful road I have ever ridden a motorcycle on.
And I believe that was still part of the BDR, no? I think that was still a section
Possibly.
of it, yeah.
Like,
Where do you think that was?
In the States. you know.
It's in America.
Folks, you got to try this ride. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's
somewhere
just
in the States.
it's actually just south of the border, somewhere down there.
Somewhere in there.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where it is
checking it
on
out,
there,
though.
but
Would you stop asking
find it.
questions like this,
it's
Martin?
way too technical.
This, if we're being clear, this was a year and a bit ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I did last week.
But our listeners are just listening right now.
Poor listeners.
Sorry, guys.
But yeah, after that, Slabtown for a lot of the times.
Yeah, I agree. I think I know that what we had to do, we got to a certain section and we both panicked because our tires were fading pretty quick. Remember that? And we had to head back up north to Oklahoma to Old Paul's.
Oh yeah,
Remember?
Before we got there, though, we did hit. So we got to Gary's.
Yeah.
we got to Tennessee, and then we hit down. We Barber Motorsports Museum.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
If
Yeah.
folks don't know what that is, go look it up right now. It is the mecca for anything motorsport related, both two wheels and four wheels. And they actually have a racetrack behind this museum, and it's active. Like there's always stuff going on there. And at the time, there was a track school for bikes going on, and the straight goes right by the back of the museum. And there's like a bridge you can go out there and like you basically sit there and watch bikes pin it all the way through. And the sound is beautiful. And anyways, I got Indy cars and all these vintage cars from all over the place and bikes. Every single bike that's worth knowing about is in this museum. So it was a bit of a detour for us, but it was well worth it.
Right. That was a good spot.
So what was the name of that again?
It's called the Barber Motorsports Museum.
Barber Motorsports
It's
Museum.
in Alabama.
And you were thinking that's when your tires were starting, like we have to start thinking about new tires?
I guess, well, I jumped ahead, but yeah, we were like,
Jesus Christ.
my front tire was done before that. We got a new tire.
Ahead, he's jumping here, jumping
Oh,
there,
man.
jumping
I'm
everywhere.
telling you right now, it's been a long year.
Okay, so it was in Alabama. The only reason why I'm saying that is
It
probably
was
because
just
we got
south
some
of
guys who
Tennessee.
went south of Tennessee.
Yeah, we were still back in
Did you leave with
Tennessee.
fresh tires?
I left with a fresh front.
So I know we got guys that love talking about tires, man. So like,
Let's talk about tires.
Well, just for a second, like, so you're leaving on an adventure bike trip.
Yep.
You're going to Baja. You guys listeners want to do what these two did.
Yeah.
Essentially, maybe, I don't know, probably not.
We
I
left Barry's Bay on
October 6th, I think.
17th.
17th? Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was 6 degrees.
Yeah, it was terrible. But I had a brand new back tire and I had almost brand new front tire.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the front tire had done half the season. And it was some Moto Z. I can't remember what that tire
Oh,
was.
right. Yeah, it was the Tractionator IT.
Traction or IT. And it made it to Tennessee. And by the time I got to Tennessee,
It was heavily
was
cupped.
yeah. And we had done a lot of highway riding. It was done by that point.
So maybe our fact checkers out there in the crowd can find out how many kilometers or miles that is from here to Tennessee. And then we'll see what that, because I mean, everyone's like, you know what kind of tires are the best? And so you guys said you're doing a lot of Slabtown, like pavement, you're riding pavement.
Yeah,
to
I
get
mean,
down
I
there.
think
in the beginning.
from Barry's Bay to Tennessee, I think it was probably 95%
Right.
slab
Okay,
at
so
that point.
What's the mileage on that?
Knoxville, Tennessee, if you're...
1,600 kilometers.
Yep.
Okay. There you go, folks.
Yeah.
For my part, I had the Battle Axe, whoever makes that, I can't... Is it Bridgestone?
Sure.
Whatever. Battle Axe, that's the one. It's like a 50-50 tire, but it's really a street tire. That was, like I said, that works great on dirt roads. It's fine. And then I had the Dakar on the back, the Metis.
Yep.
And but it had been through this, like it wasn't brand new.
Right.
It was about halfway through the season.
Right. So you're burning them through, but you had left with a brand new back.
Yep.
And you needed a new one by then.
No, my back was good till
I think you
Texas.
So it was the front then you were thinking?
Yeah, I'd switch it in Texas.
Okay.
in Texas.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
in some
that's right.
crazy hotel
Okay,
in
so
Texas.
That's
So
right.
that's a better.
We have some pictures of that.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Like if you got from Ontario to Texas on
I
a
did.
fresh
Yeah.
back tire.
Yep.
Sorry. So ignore everything I just said.
Yeah. Actually, edit that out.
Yeah, let's just cut that out. So from Ontario to Texas, right? You're talking about a rear tire. That's it's like 50-50 off on-road, off-road. You did a lot of pavement.
You know
to
what
get
that
there.
tire was? That was the
No.
Metis
E12?
E12 Rally.
Oh,
And it made it all the way to
that's
Texas.
like their hard enduro soft tire.
It
You
was
know, like
There was a
proper
good tire
off-road
for that, remember?
Yeah, it was great.
Yep.
So what's that mileage, fact checkers? Okay, so
you
3,000 kilometers. Pretty good.
Not bad.
Especially for an off-road tire.
Yep.
I mean, we weren't taking it easy, man. We were booking.
Yeah, yeah.
as
We
fast
were.
as we could.
Okay, cool.
Within all the speed limits.
Yeah.
Parameters.
There's there's Gary's place, the
Yeah.
garage. Gary had a really wicked setup. He had a beautiful double car garage with a full upstairs, and it was set
And
up.
a heater.
And a heater. Yeah, for sure.
And who's Gary?
Gary's a good buddy of mine. He used to live here in Ottawa, and but he's from the States. He was up here on like an exchange with work, and he's moved back there, and they got a little thing. Don't ask me what that picture is. I have no idea. I think it's the kid's turtle. Took a picture for my daughter. And we were watching rideouts.
Baja 1000.
Baja 1000.
His place,
He doesn't really know where he is. So that's the Barber Motorsports Museum. It's pretty epic.
Scroll through a few pictures, you'll see.
Yeah.
Well, there's our bikes.
Oh yeah, that's the best thing
I
there.
really hope you folks at home can see these.
Yeah, man. We're going to have to put these up on the podcast.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, just check it out online. It's pretty fantastic, or just do a Google search for images. Like it's a beautiful building. They've really done a good job at setting up all the, what do you call them, dioramas or whatever, like the little displays for all the bikes. And they got some really cool around the world bikes, like that Ducati you're looking at. And they had the guy's map and where he'd been and all that jazz. That one too. In fact, that one was pretty cool because it's got all like. The map is taped to the side pannier, the homemade side pannier, and like it's pretty wild.
And we had only ridden from Barry's Bay to there, and this guy is around the world. We felt really terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's found like a bunch of what's.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, the boat that was well worth the detour for sure. But then we booked it up to Oklahoma because we had Triple Clamp drop ship some tires for us, and
Old Paul's.
Yeah, to Old Paul.
Shout out to Old Paul.
Old Paul, if we got any beta lovers out there, they should know who that guy is.
Yeah.
So we hooked up with him, and he was kind enough to let us use his shop, and we changed our tires there.
Yeah.
And listened to his crazy stories.
I could have listened to that guy for days. Man.
Oh yeah.
For days. He's do you know Old Paul Lee?
Yeah, I think I do.
Really good dude. He's got a couple YouTube videos, but he's an older guy, and he's about as enthusiastic as a guy that's been riding dirt bike for a year. Like he's been riding for his whole life, but he's so enthusiastic. I love it.
And we met his daughter and her husband, and they were, what was hilarious was like, we can't believe this old coot's still riding. Like it was like, we can't stop him, so we just let him do it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, so we showed up. He wasn't even there. We showed up, and he was driving his bike.
Yep.
To a dealer who was going to work on it for him, but it was like some insane distance.
Yep. We had been there like the day before.
It was like in the other state.
Yeah.
And then he just drove out there that morning and was driving back to meet us. But at any rate, Arkansas. Arkansas was an interesting state.
Yeah.
That's where I dropped the bike.
Was that? Oh yeah.
That was the last time I dropped the bike on a trip, though.
Yeah, that's possible.
I didn't have too many downs, man. Negative. Negative. I'm telling you.
The bike screams different, but no.
I maintain.
I think the only reason I was bringing that up is because you broke your rear brake lever right off, and you rode the entire trip with that little stubby
freaking
sticking
out.
Yeah.
So we get on this. We were looking for a camping spot. It was our first day of camping.
Yeah. We're doing it. It's not -10.
Yeah,
we're doing.
We're like, hey, this is nice, and the forest was beautiful. It was gorgeous. So we keep going down this trail, and Jay's like, well, let's check this trail out here. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And so we keep going down, and it starts climbing a little bit, and it starts getting a little gnarly. And we're on fully loaded 1090s, and we're in a trail that would be a challenge on our dirt bikes at this point.
It turned into that. Here we go.
Yeah, it was getting gnarly, and then it was to the point where it's, like one of those things where it's full commit until you get to the top. Like there's no getting off the gas, because if you do, you're going to fall down one way or the other.
Right.
And so it was one of those, and I'm in the lead, and I just see this rock. It's about the size of a giant medicine ball. Like it's like 1.5 feet in diameter, just sitting there in the middle of the trail, and there's a bit of a ledge step up, and then this rock, and I'm like, oh shit! Don't look at the rock! Don't look at the rock! And I'm looking right at it, and of course, boom! I hit the rock. the bike kind of does like this massive wheelie and just kind of stalls up in the air with the front wheels pointing like at 12 o'clock and then just goes clunk. And I'm like, oh shit. And then it kind of goes over and it goes over on the brake lever side and the shearing, it just sheared right off. All the weight and everything.
It wasn't good.
So anyways, I picked the bike right up and I'm looking down and I'm like, in my head, like, I don't know, like I was so, like it was physically exhausting riding the bike up this hill. And I was so out of it that for some reason in my head, I had it that it was the gear shift lever. And I'm like on the radio and I'm like, oh shit, man, trip's over, bro. The fucking trip is over. Oh, fuck. Oh, goddamn. And I was like just freaking right out. And then Jay comes up and he's like, what's the problem? And I'm like, my bike, like the lever's fucked, man. And then he's like, but it's just your brake lever. You got your front brake? And I'm like, oh. Yeah. No, yeah, you're right.
It's true. Yeah, the trail reminded me a lot of you were showing me the one you wanted, the Hatfield McCoy stuff.
Oh yeah,
it was a lot like that. Like we were running a ridge line and it got very technical. And I don't know. Awesome. I think it was my fault.
What state is the Hatfield McCoy in?
West Virginia.
This would be very close to that.
Yeah.
So it's probably the same mountain chain.
Yeah. No, yeah. There's a lot of over.
Like, I mean, it's definitely the Appalachians, but it's probably very, very similar terrain.
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
But anyways, we came down the other side of that hill, found this camping spot, and we chilled out for that night.
Right, and we set up our campsite right next to Bear Shed, if you remember.
Yeah, lots of bear poop.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. But we were tough. We're tough Canadians. We thought it's fine.
Was this the first night we found out my mattress was very squeaky?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh. Why is that?
Oh, my. No, not like you think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you see in this picture, we're probably 30 feet apart. Maybe 20. But every time John moved in the middle of the night, it sounded like a freight train was coming through.
Like, so the material of the blow up air mattress, and I spent some money. It was like, it wasn't a cheap one. It was like I went to Mountain Kummet Co-op and bought like a good one.
Very comfortable but squeaky.
Very comfortable. And every time I would move, the sleeping bag material and this thing would go eat, and it, like.
Remember your snoring on our trip, Lee? Yeah, it was like that. No. It was worse. No, actually, I don't know if it was worse, but it was pretty similar. Yeah,
different bad.
Oh my God, I didn't sleep on any of my trips with you guys, by the way.
Listen to this.
Poor Jason.
If I'm snoring heavy, I mean, I had a good night.
Oh, I guess.
Great night.
Okay, very good. Yep. Yeah, no. So that was our first camping trip, and it actually went pretty good.
The other funny thing that happened that day was we were like, well, if we're going to camp out, we need to get some beer.
Right.
And it was a Sunday, and we're in Arkansas.
And wasn't it my birthday?
Yeah, it was your birthday. It was.
Jeez, October 31st.
Was it your birthday? No, no. We were in. We made it to Baja for your birthday.
No, we did not.
Yeah, dude. If we left on the 17th, it didn't take us that long to get.
Okay, you could be right. Okay. I just remember being beerless on my birthday, so maybe this is a different state.
It's a different one.
Okay, I'm still pissed.
Yeah. So at any rate, we're looking at for all the for a play. We're like, wow, there's got to in most places in the States they sell beer at the variety store or at the gas station, and like nobody's got any. We're like, oh, this is weird. So we go into this like Dollar General, and
they have everything.
They have everything, and of course there's no booze in there, and then. Jay, being the social fellow that he is, there's this lady coming out with her kids, and he's like, hey, would you know anywhere we can get some booze around here? And she's like, well, I don't rightly know. I don't think there's anywhere you can get booze around here. And then her husband comes out, and he's like, what's going on? He's like,
he didn't like
the gentleman wants to know where we can get some booze. And he's like, there ain't no booze around here. Get in the car, Doreen. Come on.
That was a dry state.
The look he gave Jason, I was like, Jason, get on the bike.
I really wasn't hitting on his wife. I just wanted beer.
No, man, I was hearing some banjos for sure.
But yeah, dry state.
Dry state.
Just remember that if you're going to camp somewhere in the States, dry state.
What is?
It's the American national anthem. It goes well with what you're saying. God bless America when you can't buy beer on Sunday.
Only in dry states.
Yeah.
America.
We love you, America. Okay, we get it.
Post-production's a hell of a thing.
Yeah, it's going to work good.
You're going to love it.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
The worst part is going to be syncing all this up with some pictures so people can look at.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, okay, so I'm looking at this camping site.
Yeah.
And you guys got fairly large-sized tents. I'm surprised. Like, I thought they would be more like, this hammock hanging off a tree. So, I mean, was it real hassle to keep pulling all this camping shit out to set it up and stuff? Or?
Not really. I mean, it's all about how you pack it, right?
And John had a condo for a tent. Like mine was a sleeping bag with
that's right.
a
You
little
didn't have
bit
the
of
same tent.
No, mine was tiny.
Jason opted for the old backpacking tent he had when he was 18 that he found in the back of the man cave closet here.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And I went for the cheapest tent I could find online, which was it was like $100 on sale at sale.
Yeah.
And it worked fine.
Yeah. It was big, but it was fine. It packed
I mean,
up
just
pretty good.
driving
not
the
that big,
stakes in the
actually.
ground looked like a big job.
I would only drive them into the ground where I could. Otherwise, I would leave her. Just put rocks or something. But yeah.
And how many times you think on the way down you tented?
Oh, not many.
Nope.
No, we camped more in Baja than we did the entire time in the United States.
Because the weather's nice. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And let me tell you.
Hey, there's the new
there's our
tires.
Yeah, picture of our tires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Triple clamp, thank you.
So if you're giving any advice to someone who is traveling long distance on adventure bikes and they're doing do some tenting, what would be the biggest thing you would
Like a
left
big
with?
lesson we learned from that?
Yeah,
Take your
sure.
credit card and get a hotel room. or something similar to
That's
that.
pretty good
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah.
For those that are dead set, determined to camp, I would say try and make yourself as comfortable as possible. I mean, that's really if you can pack it on the bike and it'll fit and you're not like overweight or anything like that, just be comfortable.
Yeah, I think honestly, having the tent with us and everything, it gave me a sense of security.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you don't really need to get to a town. You don't really need to get to an accommodation. You can pitch a tent. You can run anywhere. So for me, even if we didn't use it that much, it was a sense of security. We could sleep anywhere.
That's right. And we had those conversations a few times on the trip.
Yeah.
Like when we were like running out of daylight and it's like, do you want to just pitch the fucking tents? Like,
Yeah.
screw it. Like,
Yep.
fuck the hotel. Let's just camp. I'm tired.
Yep. And it was good. And I think honestly, for what we had a couple tents. We had 2 small cookers, pots and pans, and we always had like a rice something in our backpack or oatmeal or something that we could cook even if we didn't get to a town.
Yeah, we just had like some really quick, emergency ration type of thing.
Yeah. What's this menu all about?
don't
Bacon
know.
cheeseburger.
I think we took a picture of that because it was the best menu we'd seen on our trip or something like
That's
that.
probably right. Yeah. I don't eat burgers anymore, but that's a different story.
PB&J cheeseburger. Maybe that's why we took a picture of it because that's weird.
Yeah.
Peanut butter. How
Yeah.
about
Skip that picture, would you? Jesus.
Okay,
man.
sorry.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh, now we're getting close to New Mexico at this point.
Yeah. Where's that one picture of me changing my tire? It's not this place.
No, we're not there yet.
Oh no, it was. Yeah.
Oh, the Sonic Burgers. That was a staple on our trip through the States.
It was. And actually, it was. If anybody's traveling through the States, it's the easiest thing for a motorcycle. You pull up, you order, they bring it out to you. You sit on a bench right next to your bike.
Oh, it's
perfect.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And
the food's terrible, so it's perfect.
Their hash browns are fucking delicious.
They were, yeah, delicious, but not good for you.
No, not good for you.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Welcome to New Mexico. So, funny story about that picture. So, there's a little sign on the interstate that says, "Welcome to New Mexico, the land of enchantment." And I think Jay has a picture of it. We might see it in a little bit. Underneath that sign was somebody's what do you call it? The bottle the truckers use. Their shit their piss bottle
their
or
piss
whatever.
bottle.
And it wasn't piss in there.
Oh no, what was it?
The other one.
Oh,
Somebody
really?
shit in a bottle.
Like
chucked
defecated
her.
in like what kind of bottle? Like how
Like
big
a
is the
Coca-Cola
opening?
bottle.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Truckers, man. I don't
they
know.
can do it.
Right up the.
They can do it. Mm-hmm. It's threaded.
I was
threaded.
screwed it in. Kalunk. So, where's Sandra when we need her? Anyway,
That's awesome.
yeah, I wanted this picture of us by the sign, and so we pull up, and I'm like, yes, I'm right in, and I look down, and I see this bottle.
I wish we were recording the radio at that point. It was fantastic. Oh god.
Shit over here, John.
Yeah, it was wild. But let me tell you. So New Mexico was a bit of a surprise. So at this point in time, we are through the beginning of New Mexico, right on the border of Texas. Up until that point, Jason has better pictures of it. It's oil derricks for fucking hundreds of miles.
Yeah.
And it is something else.
I didn't even know they were still a thing.
No, me neither.
Very cool. They are
So
always
you're talking,
running.
you're talking about those classic things in the cartoons and the old movies where there's like
Yep.
a big pumper on
Yep.
top of a tower.
Hundreds
right?
of them.
Everywhere.
As far as you can see throughout the desert. So now we're into the high country here. This is where the trip really started shining on us. And
Actually, BDR posted that picture, didn't they? Or one of these pictures.
no,
It was one of
it was
these.
one of these. It was either this one or the other one that we have on here. But yeah, man, it's New Mexico is beautiful. I've always loved New Mexico. My grandparents did a trip out there years and years and years ago, and when they came back, so this is like early '80s, they made a slideshow for the family,
Well,
and they were like showing pictures of New Mexico. I'm like, fuck, this place is wicked. I want to go down there. And ever since then, it's and it didn't disappoint, man. It's gorgeous.
It was good.
it looks very much like Baja, except instead of a bush, it'd be a cactus.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
Great elevations.
elevation is big though, man. Like, so there's a picture. I think it's coming up, or maybe you've just passed it. I'm not sure. But it's like when we were riding through these. Remember the show Ponderosa?
Yep.
Like it's like these lush alpine valleys, and we're riding through these like they're very narrow, and there was even snow in the shaded areas still. And there's like cattle roaming and horses roaming free in there, and it was sublime. And then we get to this part, and we're getting some elevation, and as soon as we hit the peak, the wind that was coming over the top of that pass was unbelievable.
It was hard to stand by your motorcycle.
Oh yeah, it was going to blow us over if you weren't careful. It was
I'm
crazy.
surprised your bike didn't fall over.
Me too.
Because it did. A few times.
A couple times. But yeah, like New Mexico, bloody
Yeah,
fantastic.
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to go back and do the entire.
Yeah, we didn't. We only
New Mexico
rode. What did we
BDR.
ride? We rode the first, let's say, half of it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, the old Apple Barn.
the
You
Apple
love
Barn.
that place, man.
So if you watch the BDR video for New Mexico, this place features, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Apple Barn Fudge Factory.
Oh, dude, it's mint.
Interesting.
It's great. It's a total knick-knack shop, but they got everything in there, and their apple crumble or crisp or whatever they had is awesome, fantastic.
Good stop.
Yeah, and the lady that runs it is she was selling it at the time. I wonder if she sold it or if it's still running.
Let's
She
go
was
buy
looking
it.
for buyers.
Yeah.
You hear that, old man Chudley?
Let's
You
go
got
buy
some
it.
competition, bro.
That's right. Yeah, no, that would, I think there was one spot in the New Mexico BDR, which was pretty early in the season still. We had to turn around because, remember, we were
this
getting
is right
snow.
here. Yeah. So we right shortly after the apple barn. So I had stopped to take that picture of the horse in the valley,
Right.
and Jason was bombing up ahead, and so I kept going, and then I see him coming back, and he's like, "No, man, it's like fucking 6 feet of snow back
Yeah,
there."
you
I'm
can't
like,
keep going.
And so, anyways, we and it's too bad because we were going up to this town that's just after that they recommend in the BDR, and we didn't make it there. So we went around, and we were taking this detour because they were doing some road work. And those clouds in that picture don't look that bad.
No.
But they looked fucking like Mordor dark when we were there, and it was like, oh shit. So
We actually ran into a guy on a bicycle that was
Yes.
coming the other way that said, do not go.
and he was kitted out, like he had like full panniers front and back on his bicycle, and he's like, I've been getting hit by weather the whole time because he was doing the Mexico BDR the opposite way we were doing it.
Dude, like, I just interject here, talking about the trip back, because I probably won't remember this when we get around to talking to it, or if we do, we were doing a pretty large pass off road for like, and we came in this one populated intersection, and we're like, oh look, some bikes are coming down the trail in the direction we're heading in, and they weren't motorcycles; they were two dudes on mountain bikes. And we must, before we saw any type of turnoff or civilization, we rode for a good 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
We saw these bicycle tracks weaving in and out of where the Baja 1000 went through.
Yes.
So the terrain is just fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's just sand. Oh, it was a mess. And the whole time, I just got exhausted thinking about how these guys were pedaling.
They're nuts. Those
Yeah,
bikers.
you guys are crazy.
Yeah. We're doing it on motorcycles and it's hard.
Well, not to jump ahead or anything, but we ran into the same thing when we were in Baja.
Oh,
like
wow.
once we hit there, we ran across this chick who was like in the middle of nowhere. We had seen mountain bike tracks on the trail, but we finally caught up to one, and this chick's like, "Hey man, you guys have any spare water?" And we were in the middle of nowhere, like, so we had been riding for some time to get to where she was, and then we kept riding for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And like her crew had ditched her. Like they're like, yeah, we're gonna take the easy road. We're gonna go this, and she's like, no, I'm gonna be hardcore and ride the whole thing. But I don't know how she was doing it, but she was leapfrogging us.
Yep. In the morning, she
all
was
on the
there.
coast.
Yeah.
Like this chick didn't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're nuts.
It's a
on
different
them.
breed of human being.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's something else. It's wicked. Like,
But anyways, getting back to this guy,
yeah.
he just said, yeah, there's logs down, there's trees down, you'll never get your bikes over it. So, and I'd already gone to the spot where there was way too much snow to ride their bikes through anyway. So we made the decision, turn around, put on rain jackets because I think the weather was coming in pretty
And
hard.
this is where I had my last down of the of North America.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought that was in Texas.
I put my bike on the side stand.
Oh, yeah.
And
Back up a few pictures.
Yeah,
I'll
back
show you
up.
this.
Yeah, hold on. Okay.
Right there.
So see where my bike is?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So anyways, I'm the bike was kind of tippy, and I'm like, okay, and I'm talking to this guy on the mountain bike as I'm taking my jacket out of the pannier, and I'm like, I got my hand on the bike, but I got to take it off to put my jacket on. So anyways, I'm looking at him, and as soon as I take my hand off the bike, it's like, and it just goes, and boom, and it caught the windscreen on Jay's because he's got those stupid extra.
Don't
protection
blame my
bars on the
extra
side.
protection.
And it just caught the lip of my windscreen and ripped it right
off
like a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Those zip ties you put on there to repair it last a long time.
Yeah, they're still there.
dude, man, zip ties. I'm telling you. KTM, why do you even bother with screws? Just put
Yeah,
zip
just
ties.
put zip ties on
Yeah.
there. That's
So it was a bit of a mess trying to pick up two adventure bikes fully
And then
loaded.
this town, this picture we're in, we're looking for this. This town in the BDR film is vibrant. It's kitschy. There's all these artists around. They got these great places to stay. It's
motorcycle
amazing.
shop.
Yeah, motorcycle shop. And we get there, and it's fucking dead.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a ghost town.
There's nothing there. It's a complete ghost town, and
No motorcycle
That motorcycle shop's long gone, and Jay needed a tube or something like that, and we stayed at the dodgiest motel of the trip.
Yeah, we did.
There's been multiple murders in that room, 100%,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
probably some other things we don't want to talk about.
There's a lot of stains on the carpet.
Like the carpet is older than I am, and I'm pretty like original.
How do you carry a blacklight with you on that motorcycle?
My motorcycle comes with one. KTM actually,
Dude,
it's
you
a
did
They
not
have
standard.
black-
Yeah.
You did not want to have a black light in that hotel room.
Yeah. I actually pitched my tent in the middle of the room and
Whoa, we're not talking about that.
In the middle of the room.
cut. Yeah. I think that day,
This was an interesting place. So
yeah. I woke up. So that the night before, I think I changed my tire, which I don't know how we didn't see the picture.
You were nervous about the tube or something like that.
I didn't like the tube. Anyways, woke up and we got to this hotel, this dodgy place. And as I rode in, I thought that didn't feel right, but went to bed. Woke up in the morning, my back tire's flat.
Yeah.
And we were out of tube. So it would hold some air and it would last a little bit. And we heard about this motorcycle shop about, 45 minutes to an hour away?
Yeah, but it was so we would have come through this town on the way to where we stayed that night had we been on our original track. But
Right.
because of the weather, we didn't go. So we backtracked up into the mountains a little bit to get this place. It's got a funny name.
Yo Mama's Bike Shop.
Well, that's the name of the bike shop. Yo Mama's Bike
Yo
Shop.
Mama's Bike Shop. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyways, the dude was super, super good. He's a Harley guy, but he had a 1190 Adventure.
It wasn't an adventure.
No.
Yeah, it was an adventure, but it was the
Not the
more
R.
the streety version.
Yeah.
The Duke or whatever.
The super adventure.
Yeah. And,
Uh,
yeah.
and he was telling us he's done most of the BDRs with his girlfriend on the back of this thing. So, anyways, he was the right guy to help us out. He got me a tube. He actually changed
Zach.
it. He did everything for
Yeah,
me.
Zach was the man.
Yeah, Zach. Yeah.
But he was an interesting cat. Like his bike shop had some paraphernalia that had me questioning life a little bit.
Was
I
it
was like-
the guns or?
Well, that's America. I mean, there's guns everywhere. loaded shoddy, you know, up against the wall just in case. But actually his like the prize thing that he had 2 framed huge pictures of every Garbage Pail Kids card.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you remember Garbage Pail Kids cards from when we were kids.
Totally.
But he had like they were all framed on the wall, and I'm like, God damn, that's cool, man. You don't see that every day. Then he had some other things going on in the shop that maybe we're like, oh, what's this guy about?
Yeah, I didn't know if he was a good guy or we gonna die. The whole time.
I'm like, is Charles Manson's offspring hiding in the back waiting for us? Like, I don't know. But he ended up being a really cool dude.
And you know what? That was the exact same tube that we just changed when we were in Baja a couple months ago.
So Zach, if you're listening,
you did
that was
a good job.
Goddamn good tube.
You did a good job, buddy.
Congratulations. This portion of the podcast is sponsored by Your Mom's Motorcycle Shop at 575-802-3648. That's only at 26339 US Highway 70. If you need a tube, go see Zach.
Go see Zach.
That's right.
Thank you, Zach. Oh my God.
Yeah, he had some pretty mint
There's
Harleys
his
in
bike
there.
right there.
Yeah,
Look
that's the super
17 front tire.
adventure. Yeah, amazing stickers. Like amazing. Amazing. Oh shit.
Yep.
Oh,
Hey, there's my bike on
there's
the
your
lift.
bike.
There's the Garbage Patch Kales. What Kales?
Kales.
Kids? Oh my
Garbage
God.
kale.
It's good beer. Good beer. We're gonna. Oh, there. Oh, and then this happens. So I get sorted out, and we get onto the highway, and all of a sudden, Boisvenu starts getting flats like mad.
So this is like
Where is this, John?
this is right by the White Sands missile range
Yeah,
in
which-
New Mexico. It is so. The reason why Jay was a little bit nervous about his tube before it started going flat was that we knew this was coming up. It's a pretty serious stretch of desert, and we didn't want to get caught out there with no tubes to change out. And so, anyways, Jay was fine. It's me who was the problem.
Yeah.
And so, anyways,
And ironically, just before this photo of you changing a tire was taken, you had radioed me because you had lost your GoPro.
Okay, well, let's back up a little bit because like, this trail section, like a lot of shit went down.
Yeah.
So right before there was a really epic little off-road section. You go down to this gas station, and then we double back on the highway to get to here. And the off-road section we did to get to the gas station was pretty awesome. We filmed some drone footage, and it was awesome. It was really cool. We got some on that GoPro that is in the desert somewhere. There was also some good shit. So then we got gas at this gas station, doubled back up the highway to get on this trail that goes by the White Sands missile range. And there's a little cattle, like those slotted things on the road so the cattle can't come across.
Cattle guards, yeah.
Cattle guards. There's one of those and like a little rope across. So I went through first, took the rope off and then put my side stand down, and Jay went through. But right before that, we went to this section where the earth was really black. It was really crazy looking.
Very volcanic.
Volcanic.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, anyways, so I get back on my bike and I'm go to start it, and it won't start. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm going through everything, and everything's fine. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, the fucking side stand switch is done. I'm like, oh shit. So we're looking for the right tools to get the thing off. Blah, blah, blah. And then I think Jay kind of goes, dude, look at your magnet. You know the little magnet that's on your kickstand?
Yep.
He's like, look at it. And I'm like, it's just full of shit. Like, when you
Metal
have like
shavings.
iron filings on
Yeah.
a magnet?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what
It's like
exactly
this
what it
little
looked like.
fuzzy bear.
Yeah. And I just went, just wiped my finger on it.
Worked perfect.
Worked perfect.
No.
I was like, son of a bitch.
That's what it was. Yeah. So lucky.
So dodge that bullet.
Because that was one of the things we were warned about, is that switch. If it goes,
You're fucked.
you're screwed. You can't, there's
No, I
not
know
much you
that.
can do about
Yeah.
it.
You have to buy a particular
Bypass
cutoff
thing.
thing, yeah.
And Amir was telling us about it. So I think we had it in our head. So as soon as the bike would start, he put it in gear, it shut off. We're like, oh no. So it's up on its side. We're finding wrenches to pull the kickstand switch off. And then, it just was a little bit of dirt on it. Cleaned it. Good
Yeah.
to go.
So we're good to go, and we're hauling ass. This road was awesome. We're riding, and all of a sudden, my back end gets real fishy and squirrely, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, Jay, I got a flat. So then we pull over, we're in the middle of the desert, sun's going down, and I mean, as you can see those pictures, like it was fantastic. Like the scenery was great. Like,
It was
if you're gonna have a
amazing.
flat anywhere, that's the place to do it.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing is the way we were in the dark after that. Like it got like we were riding this trail in the pitch black
And it was hours.
hours,
Yeah.
and we, the whole time Jason's like, UFO, UFO.
We're on communicators, and we're in the white sands of New Mexico, which is not that far from Area 51.
Right, it's pretty
and,
close.
And I really wanted to get abducted that night. Remember?
You did, yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
screaming
Oh, wow.
like, "Take me, take me,
Probe me, probe me.
I don't remember screaming "pro me," but I was
I'm pretty
"take
sure you were
me."
screaming
Yeah.
that.
So the whole ride, we were in the pitch black, and so we rode. It was a long ride. I think. Did you have two flats or just one flat that
Just the
night?
one.
So we had the one flat. We ride, and it took us forever to get to the next town. And the next town was called Truth or Consequences.
Yeah.
Which is it's a
Truth
funny
or consequences. There's there's a whole thing about it.
Yeah,
okay.
the town
It's a
was
game
named
show.
after a game show.
Oh.
Look it up; it's pretty cool. But anyway, so
Okay, well.
we ride into this motel after riding in the dark for a very long time, and no aliens actually did take me.
No
which is, I
aliens,
was
but they
so
did.
disappointed.
I thought they did take my luggage though.
Yeah, so we get into the door, and we're like, "Oh, thank God we're here. We got a motel." We walk in the door, and all of a sudden, John's for fuck's sakes. I'm like, "What? My climb gear? It's all gone." He had a dry bag.
I had my
mounted-
dry bag with my climb suit in it, like strapped to the top of my side pannier. It's fucking gone.
Gone.
And I'm like
$1,500 worth of climb gear
I'm like,
gone.
son of a bitch. So I'm just like, that's it. Well, like,
He
I
was
just
in a
have to roll it. Like, this is part
bad
of it.
mood.
Trips over, basically.
Well, not really. I mean, like,
I
I wasn't
lost
happy
my
about
brake. I've lost my climb gear. I've had six
Actually,
flats.
I gotta be honest, like,
5 downs.
That brake lever didn't slow me down at all. Like I was,
No, it didn't.
It was good, but I took that climb hit. He wasn't happy about it.
He lost a
but I'm like-
GoPro.
I'm like,
Oh.
what-
He
oh, yeah.
lost
Yeah,
his
it was an
climb
expensive
gear.
day.
Yeah,
Stolen or
he lost it.
No, it fell off on the trail. So we wake up the
Can I
next.
remind the studio audience, please? Just
No, we're
get on
welcoming.
mic if you're going to say something. I'm only kidding. Sorry. What am I doing?
So we wake up.
So, yeah, expensive day.
Yeah.
Expensive day. So we wake up in the morning and Jason's like, he's a good wingman, man. I have to admit, he's like, wakes up in the morning. He's like, look, man, you know what? Why don't we let's just double check. We got to go that way anyways because the loop through Truth or Consequences goes back that direction, sort of way. And so we were just like, let's just ride that trail again. It's going to be daytime. We missed half of it anyways because it was dark. So let's just ride it. I was like, all right, fair enough. He's like, we'll keep our eyes out and whatever. Maybe we'll get lucky. So we go. So before that, we hit the McDonald's. We're getting breakfast, and we run into this
he was
like
a cool dude.
Hispanic guy, older dude. He's probably like in his 60s, and he's riding like like those Suzuki like Harley wannabe bikes. They look like
It was a
mini
250
Harleys.
cc.
Like a 250 like Suzuki motorcycle,
Yeah.
but it looks like it's trying to be a Harley Davidson.
Rebel. It was like a Honda Rebel
Yeah.
or something.
Got
yes.
it.
So he's riding one of those. So anyways, there's a big long table in McDonald's, and he's like, yeah, you can just sit here. So we sit down, we start chatting with him, and he was the coolest dude, man. Like super friendly, and he's just like, what are you guys
stories.
doing? Telling us stories. Like he used to be in the Marines, and then he did all this other shit, and then now he's retired. And he just rides his bike from like his friends' places, and that's what he was doing. And he thought we were like totally wicked for doing what we were doing. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's awesome, man! I can't believe it.
But it was nice to see him because we woke up. It was so cold that morning.
It was fucking cold.
It was so cold. And we're like, oh, we're the only idiots on a motorcycle. And then we run into this guy. We're like, yes. He's like, oh, no. I live on my motorcycle all year long. So it was good to see him. And then, so we had breakfast with that guy. And then we took off reversed the track down through to White Sands.
I could have swore for a second there you were going to be like, and then from underneath the table,
He pulls it
out
out.
the climb bag. He
I
goes,
wish.
look what I found,
wish.
boys.
You guys look like you might be needing this.
No, that didn't happen.
Yeah, no, it didn't. So we went back, and I was leading, and I was really hoping again for an alien abduction. It didn't happen. But we came around a corner, and there was actually a cool windmill sitting on the corner or something. I come wailing around the corner, and there it was in the middle of the trail. Was
Big red bag.
Yeah, red bag. John's climb
Oh,
bag.
is that picture?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, way.
Right there.
No way.
There it
That's it
is.
right there.
Yeah.
Look at that, folks.
I was
There
so
it is.
happy.
Cinderella story.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
And I'm like, never give up. Fuck.
And you know what the cool thing was? Well, more flats, but the cool thing was we got to see so much of that trail or that track that we never saw.
That missile fin. So if anybody rides this trail in the daytime, you'll come across, like, we rode clean past that at night, didn't see it.
know, yeah.
And it's about the size of the front of like a Honda Civic. It's this huge back end of a missile, and there's stickers all over it. You know, people have stickered it up.
Even ours.
Ours are on there as well. Mm-hmm. And we came across that, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, that's cool." Mm-hmm. That was really neat.
Yeah. Yeah. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
But
And a few more flats along the way.
Yeah,
which
no
is,
GoPro though. We kept our eyes open for that.
yeah.
What am I looking at there?
That's a deer leg.
Oh,
Deer
okay.
leg.
Coming out of a hole.
Coming
Something
out of a
dragged
hole,
it in there.
Whatever lives in that
Snake
hole.
pulled it in. Spit it out.
Yeah. Small
But yeah,
child,
so
something.
we jumped on the highway to make some miles, and the another flat.
Oh, lots
Got
of
another
flats. You had 3 in one day, man.
Yeah,
Remember that? That was a terrible. We got good at changing flats.
thin tubes, man.
And do you remember what it was? We finally figured it out. You had a sharp edge on the inside of your rim,
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and I had that blue tape, which we removed since.
No,
we left it because it was that
are you
good.
kidding me? Yeah, let's not mess around with that shit.
So we were having flat after
Tuck
flat
tape.
after flat. Yeah, and I had brought a roll, or you had brought a roll of tuck tape, and we wrapped the inside of your rim with tuck tape.
Fuck duct tape.
And it
Tuck tape is the
worked,
new duct
man.
tape.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It-
we
yeah,
did it right.
It
Like,
did
did
it.
it.
Like
You've never
yeah.
had another flat after that.
Yeah.
So there's another little pro tip.
Yeah, pro tip.
Take some tuck tape. Ooh, I look terrible in that picture.
You look,
what?
you,
Jeez,
you
you
look
look
like
like your dad.
Adam Yauch from the Beastie Boys.
What happened?
Right? Like totally.
What's up with that?
We never asked the audience to laugh at that one. Okay.
This place. So we crossed into Arizona shortly after that, and
With a look on that face, looks like he's having some
Yeah, we
seafood.
No.
Let's change
Bad
the photo
seafood.
and let's not put that one on the
that
podcast.
place,
God.
Bertie's, and fuck, I don't even know where the hell we were in Arizona, but Bertie's, that place is the bomb for breakfast.
Yeah, it was.
So good. So good. Mm-hmm. Really, really good.
What else we got here?
This is
California.
California. Crossed over in California, and we saw the prices of gasoline and just about fell off for motorcycles.
Yeah, it was not cool.
Like $8.99 or $7.99 US
yeah,
a liter.
a gallon.
Sorry, $7.79 US for regular
Yeah.
a gallon.
Basically $8 for gas. That was ridiculous.
And that's American. So
Yeah.
what is that, like $300 Canadian?
Yeah.
A gallon? So $100 a liter.
yeah.
That's gross.
But that actually, so then we got onto the BDR almost immediately, right? Once we got into California, and that was
An eye opener.
yeah, and that was the best exercise to get prepared for Baja.
Yeah. It was exactly
looks
what we,
just like it.
it's
Yep.
exactly what we needed to get ready for Baja. Had we not done this section of the BDR, I think we would have found the first bits of sandy Baja too much.
Yeah.
When we got in here, it was sandy, and it was like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, oh my God, did we make a big mistake? Like, we have thousands of kilometers to go of this. And but the weird thing about sand is it's kind of like the more you do it, in a weird way, the more you get, obviously you get used to it, the more you want to do it. Like, it's like you're not afraid of it anymore. And
I like sand now.
you just get used to the bike dancing around you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not a big deal.
The thing when you can do like a BDR, you know it's a doable pass.
Right.
They've ridden it; it's been proven.
That's
Right.
true.
It's
There's
all
an
doable.
It's on a map.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And so you, in your head, you're like, if somebody else can do this, you can do this. So that's what got us through this sandy bit, and that was really good practice. And then
I've always liked riding in sand, but I've never ridden in sand for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles on end. And then, yeah, you're right. You get used to that wobble, and you kind of let the bike do its thing. And then there's times where, and I said this, it's like you cannot ask the bike for permission nicely to say stay up and do where you want to go. You have to command it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you have to order this machine to go where you want it to go. And that was something that I found myself getting lazy, and then like, oh shit, okay, let's go. pour on the gas, get on the pegs, get aggressive. Things became right again.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've found the same thing. You get complacent because the bike's behaving nice, and you get comfortable doing what you're doing, and then you stop for whatever reason. Like maybe you got to change something, like your goggles or whatever. Tube tire, whatever.
Jesus.
Finding my bag.
Oh my God.
GoPro.
But then when you get started, you really got to drop the hammer to get up and up on top of the sand. It's kind of like snowbiking in a way.
Kind of,
It is, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Not like it, but same
No,
idea.
I had an epiphany that when we were on the beach, and I'll talk about this in the next episode, but it was a lot like snowbiking.
Yeah.
But yeah, California was crazy. So we did just the last. So if you're doing California BDR south to north like it's supposed to be ridden, we did the first 2 sections.
And didn't we screw up in this like riverbed right here?
Yeah. So there we hit this riverbed, and it was we were just slightly off track, and we kept riding the riverbed, which was getting gnarlier and gnarlier and gnarlier, and we're like, what the fuck, this isn't right. Like, what the hell? And then we realized the track is like 10 feet to the right up on the bank.
Oh, man.
And we're in a riverbed.
Yeah. But we made it through.
Yeah, did we? I went down.
Yeah, but
Just about broke a finger.
Some of those riverbeds were the funnest parts. Though.
Yeah, they were.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed them.
Yeah.
so this bit, we're coming into our campsite right. Were we in Arizona at this point, or is it still California? I can't
I
remember.
think we skipped back to Arizona.
Yeah, we might be in Arizona. So it's like it's in a reserve or something like that. And it's this beautiful little ride through this canyon, and then they have these great campsites set up.
And I feel bad for even saying this, but we didn't pay. Hey.
You didn't?
Oh, we're gonna edit that out.
Is that how that works over at Sunny Hill too? You just kind of come
Actually,
on in and
no,
not pay?
that's not true. That's not true. It's an honor system. So there's like these little envelopes, and you put cash in.
Yeah.
And we put cash in.
Did we?
Yeah, I put cash in.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep that night.
There's other reason you didn't sleep that night. We'll get to that in just a second. So
Squeaky mattress.
That was a
Worse.
worse.
This
That was a
place
very cool
was
campsite, man.
epic. So I don't know what's going on there. So this campsites they have like a concrete slab, and it's in this beautiful little deserty kind of like ravine or whatever. And so we set up, and there's nobody there. There's absolutely no one there except for like these overlanders that are like in the the next little section over. And as soon as the sun went down, they fucked off. They were gone. I'm like, oh, that's weird.
All us.
So it's just us.
Or we thought.
So the first incursion was so they have like sappers made entirely of battalions of raccoons that would infiltrate our campsite. And so for the first 6 hours, these raccoons would repeatedly, probe our perimeter and like grab our shit.
Yeah, so my Moscow Moto bags, which I really liked,
Yeah.
they were chewing and scratching into my Moscow Moto bags. Half got through.
Yeah, we're like you'd be like half asleep and you'd hear.
Yeah, like that.
Actually, the raccoons weren't making a lot of noise. They were stealthy.
Yeah.
They didn't make a fuck all noise until they were fucking with your pots and pans, like clang, clang, clang,
Let
clang,
me
clang,
bring
clang.
that sound effect up. Hold on a second.
And then so after about like the third or fourth round of this shit, we're like, okay. They had like concrete like shitters right across the road from where our campsite was, and there was nobody there. So we're like, we'll just put all our stuff in these concrete buildings. Fuck these raccoons.
Yeah.
So we did
Which
that.
worked good.
It worked perfect.
Yeah.
So there's nothing else for them to mess with.
No.
So then, yes, that's the sound. Yep. That is it.
My God.
Yeah.
Like, you can find anything on your phone, couldn't you?
Lee's a great sound guy. Awesome. Fantastic.
I told you I'm the Fred Norris of the Howard Stern Show.
So, but
Okay.
the cherry on the cake. Fuck you, raccoons.
Okay, sorry.
Laura, did you bring this guy?
Yeah. So, the thing that made this campsite completely unique to the planet is there are wild donkeys living
Everywhere.
in this area, and there's a lot of them. And if nobody's experienced wild donkeys before, it's something else. It's not what you think. First of all, I didn't know donkeys are nocturnal. They're 100% nocturnal. They're more nocturnal than raccoons are.
Yeah.
So around like 11 or 12. Yes. All night.
That through
No way.
Yeah, through our
Not
campsite.
even that. Not even that, but it's like they're running through our campsite doing that. Like, but multiply that by about like 25.
And they're like between our tents, between our bikes.
By the way,
Oh my God.
just for shits and giggles here, this video I pulled up of the donkeys, it's 10 hours of donkey sounds. Like, who wants to listen
that?
to 10 hours of this shit? Apparently, you two want to.
Oh,
That's
that was our campsite.
Recording.
Yeah.
That's our recording. I recorded every hour of it
10
while I was
hours.
trying to sleep.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
But why were they congregating in there? Like, what was the deal?
They just live there. They're in the desert.
where
They're
they live, man.
wild donkeys.
And nobody was there to scare them off except for us.
And so the morning was glorious because all the wildlife had pissed off and gone to bed. And we were drinking coffees.
Yeah. So what we did is we went from the California
Look at that
BDR.
shit eating.
That's our Rallypoint mugs. You can get them
Yeah.
online if you want. Like, valleyrally.com /shop.
And they're very good cups.
Fantastic.
If John Bezos had a Rallypoint mug that's in a hat, that'd be him right there.
Fuck yeah. And there's
Man,
here,
so
I
that's
know this
skipping
place.
ahead. Yeah. So,
okay.
so we went from California BDR. We went back into Arizona, spent the night in that epic campsite, and then we were told from, I can't remember if it was Eric Johnson or Tim Tassioni, to cross over in Yuma. That's the easiest place to cross over. It's the nicest border.
Aguadanis or something like that. It was it's a different name.
Right, but I think Yuma's the Arizona side.
Oh,
no?
gotcha. Yeah.
And we did, and it was the easiest border crossing I've ever done in my life.
It was weird though.
So I think we totally screwed up, but it didn't backfire.
That's good.
Right? We still got back out of
Yeah.
Baja. We were supposed to get a FIN.
Yeah. So
I didn't tell you this, Lee, on the way back out because I didn't want you to freak out.
Well, when we were leaving.
None of your business.
What?
Yeah.
Anyway, so apparently when you go through the border, you're supposed to get some sort of paperwork for your bike or whatever. Mm-hmm. And
To go from the States to
from the
Mexico.
States into
You're
Mexico.
you're not importing your bike, but you're bringing it into Baja. It's good for 10 years, but you
have a piece of paper.
have
It's
a piece
official.
of paper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
So, and the reason we didn't do that, so we're crossing the border, and there's two ways to get across. You can walk, or you can drive, ride, whatever. And so it's a tiny little road, and there's like one guy, and
No gates.
No gates. There's just one dude, and he's like one dude on one side, one dude on the other, and they're both like sick of all the fucking traffic, and they're like, come on. And we're stopping, and we're like, oh, hola, ¿cómo estás? Una pregunta. And it's like, they're like, no, go, gringo, go. And so we go, and then there's this guy that kind of walks up, and he's like, hello, my friends. You go, he's waving over, he's like, what are you doing here? And we're like, oh, we're riding down to the San Jose. And it's like, okay, yeah. And then that was it.
That was it. He's like, okay, go.
And so we're like, okay.
wow.
And then I'm like, did he mean like go over there or go? And
We
we're
had
like, well,
no
I don't see
idea.
anywhere to fucking park, so let's just keep going. And we're going slow in case people like try running after us and flag us down. And no, we did. So we just kept going.
We have communicators on, and we're riding through. We're like, should we have stopped? Do we what do you do? We had no idea.
Right.
So we just went,
We just went.
kept going.
And so
That's interesting.
jumping ahead, Lee,
Yeah.
our bikes sat in Baja for a full year, stored. You and I rode them back out, and nobody asked for any of that information. Just so we're clear.
Yeah. Nobody did.
No, thank God.
No, we didn't get any of that stuff.
No.
Yeah,
But I mean-
I didn't think there was going to be an issue, but you never
Just
know.
talking about again, fast forwarding, when we were heading back, one of the things that really blew my mind, and being from Canada and traveling through North America and primarily going to the States, either through Detroit or New York or wherever, when you pull up to a border guard or an official, let alone like an army stop, like a checkpoint, the stuff that we saw, you guys going down, we're coming back, right?
Yep.
And the cars would be stopped in front of us, and there's a dude with a full AK, 47,
gun.
30, it's a big gun, right?
Yeah.
The big gun, dressed in army stuff. I'm like, we have communicators too. I'm like, holy shit, man, what is this? What's this? This is gonna be nuts. And he's like, no, it's just a checkpoint. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know, man. Like,
My
anytime
anal
we go to-
cavity is going to be hurting after this.
or something. Something's not going to be right. And except for one,
Yep.
and there must have been maybe 10 or 15 of them.
Yep.
Every single one of them, they would just see us on the motorcycles, they're like, hey, hola,
Amigo.
yeah,
Go
go ahead,
on, yeah.
go ahead.
Pass those cars.
Pass the cars we pulled over. We don't want you to stop.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Yeah, they were great.
And it was mind blowing. Like, I was like, oh my God, we were superstars
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
on those motorcycles. Like, it just felt like nothing.
Yep.
We could do nothing wrong.
Yep.
Yep.
We could have wheelied through those checkpoints, and they would have been like,
They would have loved it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they would have. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was
Yeah,
our
so
border
yeah.
crossing experience, which is not what we expected.
No.
So
Because-
yeah, coming into Mexico is just like, meh.
Yeah, they don't. They're happy to have you. They're good to go.
I mean, so here's the thing. We talked to a lot of people about this, and everybody we talked to said, don't stress. It's nothing to worry about. It's not going to be a big deal. You're freaking out for nothing. Like, it's fine.
Right.
And it was exactly that. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, bitch, be cool. And we were cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
And so we get through there, and we went up and over like this mountain pass. Like the highway kind of goes from east to west.
Mexicali
And
over.
yeah, so we get to Ensenada, and we're going down.
You and I did.
Ensenada was a bitch because it was traffic, construction, like
Yep.
like bleh. There's a different way to go, but we wanted to make time to get to Coyote Cows. That's where our destination was. And so, anyways, we made it there in that day, and we took 2 days at Coyotes
Coyote Cows.
to just decompress and reset for the next leg of our journey, which was Baja.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was
we
good stop.
We could go on forever about Coyote Cows, but it's I almost said brothel. It's not a brothel.
Hostel.
it's a hostel. Like a
One
back.
of the guys you met thought it was a
Oh
brothel.
Yeah,
man, we'll get to that later.
But I mean, you can make your own stories up, but the place is epic.
Yeah, it's great.
It's very affordable. It's
Beautiful.
very clean. It's got great hosts. Amazing food.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were talking about that earlier on, how kick-ass the food is. All home
Did
cooked
she make
in
it
front
hot
of you.
for you? Did you ask her
Oh,
to make it
yeah.
spicy?
yeah.
Right there.
Oh, God, it's
Yeah, man, so good.
yeah,
But if you're traveling on a motorcycle, you do not bypass that stop.
that's a good spot to be. Yeah.
And there's lots of ways in, more than you think. We found a killer off-road
my
over
yeah.
mountain pass to
God.
get into it.
nice, man.
Yeah, it was
did.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the whole time he's like, "Hey man, do you
doesn't
have
look
any
familiar."
idea where you're going? This is not the way we went with John." Like just, and I'm like, "Don't worry about it. It's all good." Meanwhile, like Google is showing me to go this way,
Yeah.
so I'm in the middle of like a mountain pass with dirt and erosion. Like no cars would ever go in there, and Google's going, "Turn left in 300 meter."
Turn left at the seventh cactus.
Okay, but it took us there.
It did. Yeah.
But Coyote Cows,
That was a good
it's
spot.
it's the place.
yeah,
And-
that's your first stop in Baja, really. It should
or
be.
last.
Or last. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And it was the first stop going in and our last on the way out, which is fitting. It's perfect.
Yeah. So Google it, and just the uniqueness of the place. It's I don't know. It reminded me of like the Gorillaz album "Plastic Beach," like
Yes.
the guy's funky house.
Yes.
yeah,
so good.
and-
That's a good comparison. I
right.
like that.
Yeah,
That's
and
good.
and if there's no room left in the main house, there's like 4 trailers on site, and they've all been, modified to be running water and heat, and you would need heat on certain nights. It got
Yeah.
chilly around that time.
Yeah.
And just the history of it, and it's except for this year, it was a main staple for almost every single Baja 1000 would go past it.
But
And-
not this year.
No, so it
Bicycle
was.
race.
And you're looking out, going, "How the hell are these guys coming through here without running over all the locals?" But
They do.
oh man, that's for another story.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. Pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, so we spent 2 days there chilling, getting to know the owners, and we had the place pretty much to ourselves while we were there.
Yep.
Which was cool.
And Rick, the owner, is a tequila expert.
Oh my god!
You
he's
want to know
got
anything about
so much
tequila?
Tequila,
And he does.
and he
I drank
will
a lot of
talk
it.
to you ad nauseum
Yeah.
about the tequila. He's got a book.
Yeah, he wrote a book
Literally,
about tequila.
he
Yeah,
wrote a
that's right.
book on it, and he will show you the book. But yeah, great dude, fantastic bar. Definitely give it a look see if you're down there.
Yeah,
but,
when we were there, unfortunately, there was nobody else.
yeah,
I think.
it would have been fun if there was other people there
Yeah,
for sure.
on our way back up, we stopped there, and there was a big group, and it was super fun.
Ken Block was there.
Yeah,
The Hoonigan stickers. Like everybody's been there. It's
Yeah,
fucking
it's a
crazy.
great spot.
So Lee's just going through some of the pictures I've taken of some of the memorabilia on the walls, and in the part where we were staying, there was all pictures of people that had stayed there before, And there was this one picture that stood out to me right away. It was a picture of Kurt Caselli and Leia Sands at a table, like that we were like literally there at.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, like two of the biggest legends in off-road riding have been here. Yeah. And I'm like, this is mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing, the pedigree and like all the people that have gone through there. It's really cool.
And the coolest thing about that place is he never meant for it to be a motorcycle destination.
No, not at all.
It just happened.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. He doesn't even ride. He rented a motorcycle once, rode it in Australia, and no, he bought a motorcycle. He rode it through Australia, sold it there, and that's the only bike he's ever had.
Yeah, he's a surfing guy.
He's a surfer, yeah.
He'll take you surfing if you want to go. He tried to get it to go, but I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, we spent a couple days there, and we continued our Baja adventure, and man, it was epic.
It was, yeah.
Like that was like the getting down there was one part of the trip, and that was the trip in and of itself. But like this whole part of it, like from Coyote Cows down, was like a whole different journey.
There's something very
it's
special
not short
about
either.
Baja.
Like
No.
it looks small on a map, but if you
that's
start
a big
plotting it
trip.
out, like it's about halfway from Ontario to Florida, if not 3/4 of the
Yeah,
way.
well, it's the entire western seaboard of the United States. It's the same length.
Wicked. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. It's very special. Like for me, being in places that here in Canada we'd be kicked out of
Oh yeah,
or shot at, they're happy to have you through.
yeah.
Like we were riding down beaches. We're riding through farmers' fields, gates. You know,
Yeah.
they'd open them as long as you close them behind. They're happy you're there. They wave. It was pretty cool.
And we, it was funny. We, the first day off of Coyote Cows on our way south, we hit the coast and we're cruising, and we come across these dudes on a bunch of 500s, and they were, I don't know if they were headed to Cows or something.
I think
like that.
so. Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, we're just coming from there. And then, we had a bit of a laugh about the owner, Rick, like, oh yeah, Rick, yeah, he's a piece of work. Oh yeah. And they were great dudes. And so we kept on riding, and man, like that whole coastal section was amazing. Like it was beautiful, first of all. And then, we eventually came across the place that you're looking at now, Lee. It's,
That was a cool spot.
yeah, I can't remember.
Is this the place they're talking about the wedding? Do we have the right spot?
What wedding?
Never mind. Forget it.
Okay. And we just popped out at this place and we saw the
we
Ride
came into it,
Baja.
and we're like, what the hell? And so I recognize this place from Eric Johnson, who's the owner of Ride Baja Insurance. And for anybody riding down there, I highly recommend these guys. You do have to get your bikes insured in Mexico. Work with Eric Johnson and Ride Baja Insurance. They will
Super
set you
good
up.
dude, yeah.
Super easy. Like it's literally 5 seconds and you're set.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good it's good. You can do like short term or you can do long term, and it's very reasonable. Anyways, I saw pictures of this place with a bunch of side by sides out front, and I remember thinking that looks wicked. And then we came around the corner and we saw this. I'm like, fuck, this is the place.
And it's absolutely abandoned. There's not a soul there.
But it's bumping in its time.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it picks up. It's quite busy sometimes.
Apparently what it is it's privately owned and he only just comes in and they have parties there.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
like invite only.
Beautiful.
It was a very cool spot.
Beautiful
Yeah.
place.
Right on the
This is not
Pacific.
the spot I was referring to.
No.
No, okay.
No, Lee, you're messed.
Thanks, man.
No problem, buddy. No.
Stop it.
But yeah,
So
so
then
what's
we
the
went to
Sarlacc
the
pit?
glory hole or whatever. What was
oh yeah, the glory hole. Yeah.
I don't think that's what the sign said.
We were following to Darren,
Somewhere.
Shout out to Darren Rideout. He gave us a bunch of tracks to follow. He's an old Baja hand friend of ours, and he's
Don't know him.
Been on the podcast tons of times. You should link up with him, Lee. You'd like him.
I'll look them up.
Look him up.
Can I Google that guy? Let me see if there's a sound effect of him.
He's a Baja 1000 Ironman finisher. So.
He sure is.
So yeah. Anyways, he gave us these tracks, and on the track, right before we get to what is famously known as Mama Espinosa's, there's this place called the Glory Hole.
Okay.
It's like just off the beaten track. So we're like, well, we got to go check out what the Glory Hole is.
Damn right.
And it's this giant sinkhole right on the coast, and there's like harbor seals and shit chilling out in there. You don't want to fall in.
No.
It's massive.
You
But
don't want to fall in any glory hole.
or even stick anything in.
True
But
that.
do you see those white things in the top of the picture?
What? Wait,
See the white little bits on the top? Like inside
shade,
the hole?
in the shade.
Oh,
Those
yeah,
are
yeah.
Sea lions.
Yeah.
What?
Just chilling out. Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite a cool spot, and the waves come blasting
Waves are
in.
massive.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of shots coming up of that. Like all these things.
Glory
Yeah.
holes.
That was a cool place.
It looks really cool.
The coast of Baja is fantastic, man.
I always had it in my head because I've spent time down in the south end, and I'd really like to see a Cortez. That was the side we should stick on, but somebody had said the Pacific side,
The Gulf side?
is unbelievable, and
yeah.
and it really
What
is
side's the glory hole on?
the Pacific.
Pacific.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's just very untouched. It's rugged. It's very cool.
Well, it'd have to be with
So if you go back to that picture,
erosion like that, right? Like it,
Yeah.
through the roof.
so we were in this place. It's very famous. It's got paraphernalia from everybody that's ever been on Baja, and lo and behold, we're in there and our hats hanging there. The
Back
Valley
up a
Rally
picture.
hat.
Yeah, back up. Look at right above
there.
us.
We didn't.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't put that there.
Nope.
What?
No. It turns out what's his name? Wayne Carroll.
Wayne Carroll.
No
Shout out to
way.
Wayne.
Yeah, he came to an OVR,
Oh,
bought a bunch of stuff, and he went down to Baja and he stuck that up.
so that must have been like huge. I'd be like, oh my god, there's
We're-
our hat.
famous. I'm wearing the same one.
Well, we
See
walked
that?
in. When we walked in, Jason was wearing his Valley Rally hat, and they went, "Valley Rally."
So you sit here.
Oh no way.
Yeah, and it was
Oh, yeah.
outside. Yeah, like it's
Free
like get
tequila.
out. Yeah.
Like we're like, no, we can't. We gotta keep riding. We can't drink this.
That's awesome.
It was great. So yeah, like look at like beautiful, like old XR sitting in the fucking showroom. Look at that
Wow.
thing.
There's a history of Baja 1000.
Oh
right
my
there.
god! Like
Yeah.
if that pool table could talk,
Yeah, it's
it's
very
pretty
cool.
wild.
And where do we go from there? I remember
Catavenia.
Catavenia from here.
I think so.
Yeah,
'cause
you're right.
We were aiming for Catavenia. So after this place, the landscape gets very interesting.
So how okay, taking all of the peninsula, a quarter of the way, eighth of the way down, halfway. Where is this place?
We drove right past this, Lee, and I pointed it out.
but
You
what-
didn't care.
what- no, I didn't care.
No,
I think we're about a third the way down at this point.
A third of the way. Okay, so
Yeah.
near the top.
a quarter to a third. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't go by it, dude.
No, we totally did.
Terrible.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, about a quarter. Ian's showing me the maps. We're about a quarter way down.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, our destination for that day was Catavenia, and it gets really interesting. So if you're familiar with Dr. Seuss at all, he's got these funny looking stand up plants, and there are some cacti in the desert in this area that look exactly like that. And I've read stories that is what he based it on, was these cacti. Anyways,
See, now I remember Jason mentioning that,
unbelievable. Like it's the most beautiful desert landscape I
but
have ever
nowhere
seen
to
in my
stop and rest my wore the fuck out ass.
No, there was nowhere to stop. It was what a cool spot though. Catavenia is beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the
I
hotel there
kind of
is
see one
pretty good.
way there in the distance. I think is what you're referring to.
Yeah, that's
No.
one.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a better picture of it further on, but yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, there's the hotel there is actually pretty good too. It's like an old Spanish colonial type hotel. I don't know when it was built. Probably not when the Spaniards were conquesting, but
Good sand though. Remember
it
that?
looks like that.
That track through there was pretty good.
That track
sand.
was awesome. It was a
Yeah.
lot of, and man, I don't know if you remember this, but I kept thinking I wasn't washing my face, like rinsing my face off enough after I showered, because when we were riding through the desert, all I could smell was soap. Like a
Right.
soapy smell.
Yeah, there
and what
was.
I found out afterwards, that's the fragrant smell of the desert when it's green. Like when there's been
The
lots of water.
lavender or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
There's some asparagus.
I'm sure that's a nature's
serious.
dildo. I
It's
think
like that thing was like 6 feet tall.
Boy, that size of that asparagus really make your piss stink.
Oh my god.
So was this? Yeah, that was our track from Catavenia. You don't have any pictures of Catavenia. So this is our
No.
track from Catavenia to the Pacific again.
Yeah.
which was a really epic ride.
That was good.
That was a fun ride.
We saw a giant side by side flip over. Fantastic.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh my god! Right here. So this beach, we parked our bikes and went to walk over by the beach, and the waves has pushed all the pebbles like straight up against the shoreline. So it's it's probably like about 30 feet of like really steep, and the pebbles are about the size of golf balls. And so these side by sides come ripping down the beach, and they're all ripping by us. And we're like, okay, cool, whatever. And we're filming it, and then we hear this crunchy sound, and one of them's like upside down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you have a picture of it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, keep going. There it is.
There he is.
There he is.
wow.
And, we're like, oh, can we give you a hand? And they're like, no, we're good. Like, this shit happens to them all the time, apparently.
And
they're like,
beers
"Oh,
were everywhere.
beers
Oh,
were
I can
everywhere."
just tell. I mean,
This is like 10 o'clock in the morning. Like,
Yeah.
they're all pinned.
they all look like real sporting figures.
yeah. Oh,
They
yeah.
would not be carrying beer.
Yeah, no, they had beer. Yeah.
That was the biggest
Look at
gripe
these
of them.
dudes.
It's like, oh, shit, the beer.
You broke
God
the
damn,
beer.
Jimmy, you fucked the beer.
We piggybacked those guys all day. Remember?
Yeah,
We were like, we catch up to them. We pass them. We'd stop. They'd pass us.
That was
a cool day.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful area. Fantastic.
I actually wanted to ride that back north again, but apparently Baja 1000 went through there, and it was a real mess.
Really
Yep.
interesting. And then we kept seeing these white things on the trail,
That's whalebone.
and it's a whale vertebrae.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They're huge. They're probably about 2 feet in diameter, and they're all over the place. And you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yep.
And it's a whale's spinal column. Like
Yeah.
it just washes up.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It is wild.
It's huge, man. And I was like, God, those are massive creatures.
Yeah.
This one might have been strategically placed, but
I
see what
think
you're
so.
saying,
Yeah, for sure.
No,
Like it didn't wash
no,
up there.
No, the whale died right there.
It was hit by a side by side.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Like each vertebrae has a size of 2 human brains or bigger.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like
man.
on the top of it, and it's
It's
wild.
wild. And apparently that's super common along the coast. We were running.
Oh, this is when we got on the beach, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, we decided to do a beach run. Like we got to do a beach run.
This is me testing the waters, thinking, are we going to get stuck out here?
Yeah, let's go see how solid the sand is. It was like concrete.
That looks familiar, Morty.
Unbelievable. Yeah, that was a fun ride. That was what would you say? 5K of beach running?
Oh yeah, and full
It's on the
pin.
Pacific side.
Yeah.
full
That
pin.
had to been the same stretch.
No, way
Really?
north
Oh,
of
there's
you.
tons
guys
of
were.
stuff
Yeah.
like
Why
that.
do you have to? No, it was way north. Way fucking.
It was actually way north and way better than what you had.
It was not.
Totally way better.
We had no dogs on our beach. Look at
Exactly.
this raggedy
So, yeah.
old
Doesn't
thing
his
here.
dog look like the dog from what's the Hanna-Barbera dog? The guy who's like the guy's henchman there. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Snarly or
Muttley.
Snarltooth or Muttley?
Does he look like Muttley? He looks like Muttley.
My God.
It's funny. So we get to a point down the coast. I think we're just about halfway at this
Santa
point.
Rosalina,
Yeah, and there's like, so we got to be careful because this is a surf spot.
and it's secret, and
It's
nobody
super
wants us
secret.
to talk
Nobody
about
wants
it.
to talk about it.
Yeah.
We
Seriously.
we kind of got the riot act by some of the dude, like one of the dudes that's been there. And anyways, so they got these shacks, and you show up, and there's a dude that walks by, and it's like 100 pesos or something like that.
Yeah, you pay a massive $3 or something stupid.
And it's kind of nice. You set your tent up in there, and there's all sorts of cool graffiti and artwork, and people
Yeah.
have stayed in there. It was pretty neat. It was good. And I have a wicked drone shot. I woke up in the morning and like crack of dawn and got the drone up, and it was fantastic, man. Beautiful, beautiful.
There was a
area.
guy there that surfs there, and he said, I think he'd been there for 21 days. He's like, yeah, I don't know, I might stay for another month or so, waiting for the surf. And every morning he wakes up, he walks out to the point, catches his massive fish. There he is.
There he is.
Catches this massive fish. Says, yeah, that's dinner for today.
Yeah.
And he lives. He doesn't go anywhere. He just lives right there on the beach.
Look at the size of that Johnson.
Look at his Johnson.
You know, like you can't see his face there too well, but you know who he reminded us of? He reminded us of like a California version of like what's that Canadian Newfie comic? You'd probably know him to see him. He's like a little short guy, and he's like,
Oh yeah.
I'd have to find him to see him. Here, I'll find a name. You can't see his face there, but he was exactly like this guy. Hold on, I'll find out a name. So yeah, let's blast through some of this stuff real quick.
Sure, you bet, no problem.
We gotta
Yeah,
get
'cause
we gotta
we
get
got
to your
lots of stuff
trip
to
going up.
Well, I mean, come on, that's a whole nother episode.
Fair.
At this point,
So we booked it. What's his name in this town? It was like almost halfway, like exactly halfway.
that place,
San Ignacio.
San Ignacio.
San Ignacio. So we get to San Ignacio
It's definitely worth mentioning.
for sure. So we stop there and we find this little place. It's a decent place, good sized little motel, and we're rolling in and we see
It's a
these
beautiful town too. Like it
Yeah.
has this
Old
palm tree
grove.
oasis.
Yeah.
As you drive in, it's very
Yeah.
nice.
And then we're kind of like we do the round of this town, like the main square. And we're like, okay, well, we're going to stay. And we're like, well, there's this one place here. Let's just go back there and we'll get a place. We get a room and it's nice and clean. It wasn't super cheap, but it was decent. So then we clean up and we're going to walk back into town and find something to eat. And we run into this couple on CBR 500s.
They roll
Or
into the
CBX
same
500s.
hotel, yeah.
And they're, a little bit older than us, but not by much, from New Zealand.
Yeah.
And, like we chit chat. We're like, okay, cool. Yeah, this is great. So, you guys, nice to meet you. We're going to go into town to find something to eat. So anyways, we go into town and there's like basically one place that's open that's decent. And so we go there and, we're having some drinks. I mean, we had a couple margaritas or something like that.
A lot of margaritas, yeah.
No, just a couple. And then, as the picture shows, they had these little little tiny, I don't know, they look like spring rolls, but they were like Mexican version of.
So good.
They were super yummy. And then lo and behold, our New Zealand friends show up and they sit down at the table next to us. And, one thing leads to another and we start talking.
Oh, look at that picture.
Oh, yeah. So we move over and we're at the same table and we start talking and comparing travel stories and whatnot. And these two flew to BC,
Yeah.
bought bikes in BC. These bikes rode up to Alaska and then rode clear across Canada
To Newfoundland.
and then clear across the United States. And then down to the Baja Peninsula to where we were.
Yeah.
And they were continuing down. And I was like, oh, my, you guys are making us look like pussies, man. Like, holy shit. And they were awesome. They were the best people in the world. And the dude looked like an older, out-of-shape version of Paul Bolton. Like, spitting image.
Not that out of shape, Nick, by the way.
Not that out of shape.
And
Sorry,
what were they
Nick.
called? It was passports and panniers.
Yeah.
Passports and panniers.
Yeah. And
Super cool people.
They were the best people ever. Look at him. He's
There.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I love Nick. He's awesome. And we still chit-chat to this day. He's great. Sorry about the out-of-shape comment. That was uncalled for. My bad.
Yeah, man. Come on.
Well, I mean, Paul Bolton's a fit dude. But he looks like Paul Bolton's brother. Like, come on, look at him. He could be his brother.
Sorry, Paul. I hope you're not watching.
Nick, don't listen to
Anyway,
him. This guy's an asshole.
so what had happened, we were at this one restaurant and we started drinking tequila. And we had a few and a few more and a few more.
It's weird that you'd be drinking tequila
In
down there
Mexico.
In Mexico.
So then we all go back to our hotel and there happens to be a bar at our hotel that's open.
We didn't know that.
No, but would you not zoom into my? That's the leftover of the night.
Are you sweating tequila there?
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
coming
what-
out of
Yeah,
my
for
pits,
sure.
man. It's terrible. Oh,
Like I was literally
it's a
talking to him
bad
before I went into the
night,
bathroom to brush my
man.
teeth, and I came back out and he's done.
That's what it looked like.
So that was
So we ended up
Okay.
drinking at the bar at our hotel, and she was hilarious. She's like, where did that come from?
So that was me. That was not me.
Whoa. Anyway,
timing is much
Studio audience,
she
turn
was-
off your cell phones. Thank you.
She was being very funny. He's like, "Oh, you pussies, drink up, drink up."
Yeah.
Anyways, by the end of the night, we were all hammered and smashed.
This
And
is the
then-
Kiwi that's egging you
yeah,
on?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the next morning she wakes up. She's, "I'm so sorry. I'm sorry if I egged you on." Anyway, she continues to tell us that she hasn't drank like that since 1994.
Yeah.
Right?
That's definitely the look of regret on an individual's face right there.
We've kept in touch, and they're great people, and
Oh yeah, they're fantastic.
I can't wait. They've invited us to New Zealand, and I hope to
We're
hook
going.
up with them.
We're
Yeah.
gonna ride
Any
our bikes
idea-
there. That's the next trip.
Okay, we'll ride across the pond.
Yeah.
And,
so-
and anyways, off to that, and we rode to the rest of the way, and it was great.
yeah. And after that, I think it was the flats, right?
Yo,
Another classic.
that
Dodge
was
van.
an amazing ride. The flats.
So you get out. The trail we were riding takes you out to the coast again, but it's
This
kind
is
of like
okay. Actually, no, back up because this is that's Scorpion Bay.
yeah, but we rode the flats before that.
To Scorpion Bay.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So the flats are this. You're not quite at the coast. It's this area.
It's
and
an inland ocean
It
bit.
looks like the Bonneville Salt Flats is kind of what it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
And you just fucking pin it the whole way. And then at a certain point, we were kind of like, what the heck? And we look off and there's dunes like off to the right, like towards the ocean. And so we decided to ride off piste a little bit and go check those out. And man, we got a great drone shot of that. It's pretty
that's
cool.
great.
And like when you see like you know how like when you got a video and it just makes like a little thumbnail for the video.
Oh yeah.
I always think it's a snowboard video because the sand is so
So
white.
white. Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's amazing.
You're not kidding about the salt flats. Like, it's not just flat and barren.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
white.
white.
Oh wow.
It's wild. And then
I think that was the north road into San Nox, or not Scorpion Bay. Remember, somebody
Correct,
told us
yeah.
that was the north road in.
Yeah.
Such a cool ride, and we met some Canadians there. Remember,
Scorpion?
remember Mustache Man?
Mustache Man. Oh yeah.
Right?
The like the mag tools, like
Yeah,
fucking
the
truck.
milk truck. Yeah. That's the dude I was telling you about that I was then, this is jumping forward, but I'm sitting at, so we ran into this couple and they're from Alberta or something.
Yeah, so we were looking for a camp spot in Scorpion Bay, and the only places left were up on the bluff, and it was like, I don't know, $30 a night or something stupid like that. I don't even know what it is. Maybe it was less.
Yeah.
And then so we pitched out this little area, and then there was like, as you saw in those pictures, there's a couple vans right on the edge.
Yeah.
So they got the view.
Yeah.
And one of them was like kind of like an old delivery truck, like a old, Snap-on Tools type truck.
Oh okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the guy,
Yeah.
Mustache Man.
Yeah. So we had a good chat with him. He's ridden Baja on a cruiser before and had a really good chat. And he was heading down to San Jose. And ironically enough, 2 weeks later, I'm sitting at the condo in San Jose having a coffee in the morning, and Christine goes, "Look at the stash on that guy." I look over, I'm like, "Oh my God, that's him!"
Oh really?
Yeah, go back 2 pictures.
Oh.
It's that dude's
This
van.
is the dude that was in the golf course area.
Yes.
Ah, no way.
That van on
That-
the
that
right hand
van on the
side.
right.
Yeah.
With the ATV. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
And he was
Wild.
great. He was always chit-chatting with
Such
"Hey,
a
how
good
you doing?"
dude. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Baja's,
we'll
Baja's
talk a
magical,
lot about
man.
that Baja magic. Yeah.
It really is. Like you see these people, this is midpoint Baja, and I run into them again.
Yeah, we're not talking about magical, like, the scenery is beautiful and the riding's like, no, it's
There's
it's the
something special.
crazy things that go on
Yeah.
that remind that are just like there's no the planet's
This doesn't
aligned.
happen anywhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe just because it's a lot smaller than Ontario, but I don't know what it is. Or
Yeah.
but there's something like, well, we'll have a bunch of stories.
Yeah,
to tell
but-
you.
Well, so this is a perfect example of what you're talking about, Lee. So that in that picture with the van that you saw, there's another van there, and there was this crew of like surfers, like feral surfers that were going in and out of this, and those, like, there's just up behind our campsite, it was like a little restaurant, and those are the folks that manage the campsites, and there's like showers and stuff like that up there. And we were up there, and there was a couple in this little surf crew that would be going in and out of this van that were up there. And, like, they're always like pinching off of the Wi-Fi and calling their family or whatever. But they were Italians. Like I speak Italian because we lived there.
He
but it's
lived in Italy
Did
once.
I tell you about that?
Have you ever been to Italy?
Did I tell you I lived in Italy
I
once?
had no idea, man. Holy cow!
Yeah, no, he lived there once. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm like, listening to this woman like talk to her family in Italian, and I'm like, how did you get here?
Yeah,
How did you get from wherever you are in Italy to Baja Peninsula surfing? It's bizarre. Like, I
Yeah.
just love it. It's like these little like intersections of. It's what you're saying. It's like there's so crazy.
That was a cool spot. I wanted to head back there, but we didn't make it on our way through. But Scorpion Bay, definitely a place to stop and check out.
And if you keep going, Lee, keep going down these pictures. This one, that one, it was pitch black when I took that picture.
really.
Yeah, like I don't know. I was messing around with the camera, and that picture was taken exactly the same time as the ones before that. Which
I
is
think
always
it's just
the
because
fun.
I'm in it.
Stars.
Like I
You just
illuminate so
you
much.
just illuminate everything, Jason.
Yeah, let's just zoom in here and see how much you're illuminating. Because
whoa! Why are we looking directly at my crotch?
that's the face of a very enthusiastic individual.
How did I shave so nicely?
That's the I love this trip so much face.
Dude, the whole time we're down there, man. It's like
in the triple clamp, like
Yeah,
logos
right
right
there.
there. We should just send that to Amir and put that on.
Yeah, he
the
would love
flyer.
that. Yeah.
love it.
Sponsored immediately.
Baja Blue Steel.
Yeah,
That's right.
Freaking right.
Thank you.
Baja
Thank you.
Blue Steel. Thank you, audience.
He was a Baja woolly bully when we were down there. He kept bothering me. Hey, man, can I borrow your razor again? Hey, dude, I left my deodorant at home. Dude, I need your toothbrush. It was really weird.
It is what it is. That's Baja magic. Anyway,
Is that what you
That's
call?
another type of Baja magic.
Is that what you call deodorant that you use and give to somebody else? The Baja Magic.
yeah, that's right. Yep.
Oh God.
Oh,
Anyways, so yeah, we my climb toque.
You know,
Fucking fantastic. I
That
love
is.
those things.
I'm gonna say the day after that was our hardest day on the
Yeah,
bike
I was just gonna say.
to the entire trip.
Yep.
So we rode from Scorpion Bay to Loretto, which is
Yeah, it's a haul.
which is if you were to drive the highway, it's quite a ways because you got to go south and then north, or north and south, whatever it is. We went through the mountains, and it was absolutely the hardest day. We got on the road, and sand is one thing.
No, hold on. We were like, we can ride the beach for a little while.
Yes, it started on the beach.
So we were like, let's start on the beach, and then Darren's track goes down the beach.
Yeah.
And then it goes up this fucking hill. And
A side hill.
The hill is like pure sand.
Yeah.
Like it's the deepest sandbox you've ever seen. And Jason's losing his shit. He's like, fuck, maybe we should just go back. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't want to. Like, let's just give it a shot. And so we
Why does that sound like the other way around to me? That does not sound like him at all.
honestly, like,
Honestly, I'm gonna give John this. This was one of my down days.
he was a bit down.
Yeah,
He was a bit down.
I had this, like, I had been riding for X amount of days, and I've been leading, and these tracks are like going nowhere, and it was hard. The sand was deep and hard, and we rode through this beach. We had to ride up the side incline, and I'm like, oh.
And I think what pissed you off more was that I made it up relatively unscathed, and then there was like a buried fucking cactus
Yes.
that I didn't hit,
and it caught me.
and it caught Jay a couple times. And he's like,
That
God
did
damn
piss
it,
me
fuck,
off.
he's good.
Yeah.
He was not having a good day.
But it was epic after that. So we rode in, we got up that beach climb, we got onto this road, which was supposed to be a road, and we're following a track. So we know that somebody's been here before. It turns out that a storm had blown through there probably 6 months earlier and wrecked the road, right? Wrecked the bridge halfway through.
Yeah.
So nobody's driven on it. And when you ride a sand road in Baja, there's two tracks. There's your left wheel track and your right wheel track. So we would share that. I would ride the right wheel track. John would ride the left one. Well, this day, those tracks, because nobody been driving in it, it was 6 to 8 inches of sand the entire time. And I mean, talking hours. We're riding through this, and then we'd come to a spot where it's washed right out, and we'd have to skip out of that what was the road down a sand dune. Remember, and we ride through, and then we got to one section, and the road's gone. There's a river.
Yeah, so
It's absolutely gone. Like,
we were following this track, like Jay was saying, it was super sandy, and we had to go downhill into this ravine, and it was sand all the way down this ravine. And usually that's not the case. Usually it's a bit rocky.
Yeah.
And I remember
and lots of it, I'm thinking we're not making it back up that.
Yeah, like I remember having a discussion over the radio, like, hey man, if we go down this track, it's gonna be a son of a bitch getting back up.
Yeah.
And we're like, are we going down? Yeah, we're going down. Okay, we're committing to this. Okay, cool. So we get down to the bottom, and the fucking path, the road across the river is completely gone. Like, it's fucking gone. Like, it looks like a tsunami had come through. Like, you can see slabs of concrete of what used to be the road.
But 1,000 feet down the river,
like, it's all fucked up.
gone.
And you know, and we're ways back from the river at this point. We're not even at the river yet. Right. And then, so we're like, okay, well, let's park the bikes and let's walk this and see if it's doable. So we parked the bikes, and at this point, it's a bit rocky, so it's not sandy anymore. And so we walk down the river, and the road's gone. Like, it's fucking gone. I'm like, let's walk the riverbank. Let's see if there's a shallow crossing. There's got to be. So sure enough, we walk up a little bit, and there's this shallow bit, and there's a shelf, and we can ride across that. And then there's a road. We get to the other side, and I'm like, okay, tell you what, let's unload one of the bikes. It'll be easier. And Jay, you go. And you ride up and you see how far the road goes, and if it's okay, then we'll get the other bike through. And sure enough, that it all worked out that way.
Yeah.
And then so we did it, but man, like
It was a hard.
it was just one of those days where you had to just dig down and go, we're gonna do this. Like we're gonna do it. Like this isn't a pleasure cruise. Like we're not getting
We're off-roading. It's
we're
adventure.
off-roading. It's
Yeah.
an adventure. Like
Yeah.
this is what it's about. So let's go down there and check it out. And if
Yep.
it's not, then we'll go back. It's like that's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And then so we just did it, and it was amazing. And then after that, we hit like
man.
the fucking like Jurassic Park. Like where like dinosaurs live.
Mm-hmm,
We
yeah.
found that valley.
Oh,
I am 100% sure.
It was
dinosaurs
very,
still live in
very
that
cool,
valley.
yeah.
That's what it looked like prehistoric, man.
We got through this valley and we started climbing mountains and we get to the top. And there's no, like, we haven't seen anybody all day riding, and then finally we come across to like a farm, maybe up top of the mountain. And we're like, how did these people get here? So we thought, well, the roads must be getting better beyond it. Well, no, it didn't.
Oh,
It
wow.
was just this rutted out, washed out road. And we kept going.
Awful.
And then we did come into this one oasis, which you're talking about. It was the most beautiful spot, kind of in the middle between Scorpion Bay and Loretto. And it was this beautiful oasis of palm trees, a little like some churches.
If you
It
go
was
back a little bit in your pictures, keep going. That's the oasis
that's
inside
it.
it.
Yeah.
Like keep going, like you'll see the picture. Like
it was
palms
beautiful.
as far
yeah.
as you can see in like a desert ravine. Like
Yeah.
dinosaurs live down there.
Yeah,
for
they
sure.
did. Yeah.
Fucking brontosaurus,
Pretty epic.
T-Rex. They're all down there.
So then, anyways, we make it through, and my bike starts acting up, didn't it? At that time, it was.
No, it was a bit later.
Was it? It was on
Yeah,
the same
it was
track
when
though.
when we were getting close to the pavement to get to Loretto.
Yeah, you're right. So we climb out through this amazing bit, and we get to the top of another mountain pass, and we're coming down the other side, and my bike just dies on me,
Right.
and I had to coast it probably 5Ks down this thing. It's a crazy road, and we get to the bottom, and we get to this river bed, and my bike's not running.
Sandy riverbed,
Yeah.
kind of washed out.
Yeah. So John's there kind of helping. And we're like, okay, what do we do? Do we push it? And somehow my bike starts up.
Yeah, so I had ridden ahead a little bit and gotten it just out of the riverbank, like up on the other side. So we had to kind of go in, and then like I went down to the right a little bit, and then there was a little rise to kind of come out. So I did that, parked the bike. So I'm coming down, I'm spotting Jay, just in case his bike stalls again. So he's coming up and he's riding, and I'm like, awesome, like yeah, go. And he finally got it started, and he's riding through. And as he's coming, I look down, and this tarantula that's about the size of a fucking softball crawls right across my boot.
I was waiting to see one of those. You got to see it, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Shit.
Oh yeah. It was epic.
Jay, don't stop. Don't stop. And he keeps riding through, and I'm like, sweet. And so I jump on my bike, and I'm riding. And as I'm
We're
riding
gone.
out, another one goes right across the trail, and I'm like, oh,
We're not camping here
They'll
tonight.
jump right up on you, little fuckers. Yeah.
We're out.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that was definitely the hardest day on the bike. That was pretty epic day.
The
Well,
terrain
you kept
was
telling me that.
relentless.
yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, that was the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember.
And we didn't ride that back because Baja 1000 went through there.
Well,
I can't believe that, man.
They did. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Or so we were told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember messaging Rideout after that day and going, "Hey man, listen,
Your
Jay-
tracks are fucked.
No, I was just like, Jay's bike is acting up a little bit. We're here. What's the next bit of track look like?" And he's like, "All the day is going to be as hard, if not harder, than what you just rode." I was like, "Okay,
Hey.
Roger that."
That was probably a good sound word of advice.
Yeah. So I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay,
Because
cool."
when I called him up, he's like,
I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't put that track there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm pretty sure we would have headed into doom.
We would have.
Yeah,
We'd still be there. Dead.
Anyways, that's another story. But
Yeah.
It's very similar to like what you're talking
Yeah,
about. It's like,
I mean,
holy-
he was pretty frank about how difficult it would be, like especially on the big bikes. Like, I mean, he knows what it's like to ride the big bikes. So
Yeah, of
he was
course,
like, "No, man." He's like, "If you're having problems, that's not going to be a good day for you."
yeah.
So we opted to skip that portion after Loretto and do some highway down to where La Paz, right?
Pause.
Yeah. So there we are.
Yeah, and that was unfortunate. There was some good stuff that was on offer for us.
Yeah.
Sia Cortez, it would have been amazing.
Now,
We've
do you-
heard good things about that.
Did you guys do the mountain pass that we took that went across just below La Paz? Closer to the bottom of the peninsula?
So we did. Yeah, we did the the track that we remember we drove. You guys
Yep.
rode. Yeah,
Where
we did
we run
that.
into
Yeah.
that guy on
No,
the
not that.
990? That was just after La Paz, was it not?
Right after, the next day.
Right. So there was a section. So we did a bit of highway. Was it before or after the highway?
Sandy section. Darn you.
Can't remember,
Rider.
but
yeah, we
it was-
rode a bit of highway south out of La Paz.
That's right. And then we hit an off-road section again,
Which
And-
we drove on in the Forerunner this year, actually.
No, you did that in the Forerunner?
Yeah, we
no
did.
Shit.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, that was a
FYI, right?
sandy bit. Yeah, don't tell Rideout that bit.
I don't think we should tell right about a lot of
Yeah, no shoes. Yeah,
That was the hardest
that was hard.
sand for me.
So do you know why that was hard for me and for you? It's because it was downhill, a long downhill,
You
and
couldn't
deep
keep speed.
sand. Yeah,
You couldn't keep speed.
No,
'Cause
hard to keep the
direction-
front end light.
You're going through these bougainvillea, like, it was weird. Like, it was just, you're always ducking in and out of trees and shit. And we ran into this dude from, was he from Pennsylvania?
That's
There he
good
is.
right here.
This guy on a 990, and he was awesome, man.
He was.
really
I still
cool.
I still chat with this guy.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
Oh, sweet.
Yep.
Cool. I'm glad you got in touch with him.
Yeah.
He was great. I like that guy.
Yeah, we gave him stickers because he was complaining that all the locals were asking for stickers and he didn't have any. And I'm like, here, take some. He's like, oh, you saved me, dude. Super good dude.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah. And then, so that ride, we did the track from there all the way into San Jose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was an epic. I love the Sea of Cortez. I love the East Cape. That's
That was
probably
nice.
my favorite bit.
this guy.
Oh, this guy.
So we're coming around the Cape at this point, and we're
Coming into Los Barillos.
Yeah, Los Barillos, and we're coming up this hill, and I swear to God, we're not robbing them. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Give us all your money, motherfucker. Jason's like, "Are you sure that's all you got?
Yeah.
Come on." So
We were
see-
coming down this mountain
Yeah.
pass, and at the bottom of the hill
This
was
kind of
this
KLR.
dude stripped down to almost bare naked because he's so hot.
Yeah.
He's stuck, and he's been there for an hour
Trying
trying
to
to get up the
KLR,
hill.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man, these are all the stories that you told me when we were down there.
I did tell you these
Okay,
stories.
cool.
Yeah, none of them are
I'm seeing
fake.
pictures now.
Yeah.
And so this dude was like, "Oh yeah, man, I decided to ride ahead of my buddies. They're on KTM's and Husqvarnas, and fuck those guys. I'm gonna get ahead of them today. But holy shit, this is kicking my ass." It's hilarious.
Yeah. So we walked down the hill and literally rode his bike up the hill.
Yeah.
For him, and then off he went.
That was an awful motorcycle.
That was a terrible bike, actually.
It was.
I think it just had been beat up so bad.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Look at it. It's got like it's missing a
No
windscreen.
windshield.
Ugh,
Yeah.
I can't believe he rode that. Well, good for him. He was riding that thing. Look at those blue flowers.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah. I mean, I probably won't say this in the next episode, so I'll say it now. But there would, when you're riding down there, it's more than just the terrain. It's more than just like the places, the food is. They have some vegetation down there.
Oh,
They
fuck
do.
yeah.
That it's not
100%.
from this planet.
Right?
It's
yeah.
wild,
100%.
and if you're not stopping just to stop and look around,
Yeah.
you're doing this wrong, guys. Don't
Yeah.
just go.
Yeah.
Don't blast
stop,
through
take
it.
your time, and Laura she's the best for this. Like, I'll come back to the hotel. I'm like, where the hell did you get all these pictures and these magnificent animals and creatures and flowers? And she took through it the day. I'm like, holy shit! So after that, I decided to slow down, check things out. But
Yeah.
Catavenia was like that for me. I felt like I was
yeah.
on a different planet. I'm like, an asteroid crashed here at one point, and this is all fauna from another planet for
Yeah.
sure.
wild.
And that's
there's East
that's
Cape.
not far from San Jose.
Yeah.
And
Still carrying that front.
the rest is history.
Yeah, that was a good day. You know, when
It was.
we there we are at the condo. We rode all the way
Wow.
from Barry's Bay to that condo.
Yeah.
That must have been the best beer ever.
So good.
And yeah, fuck, it was great.
It was, yeah. It was an accomplishment for sure to get there and just
There's Casey's amazing shop.
yeah. So
Shout out to Casey for storing our bikes for a
thanks,
year.
buddy. So we as we were riding down, I'd met this lady at a funeral about I don't know a year earlier. No, this is accurate. And she said her daughter lives in Baja. And so it was my grandma's funeral, actually. And this lady said, yeah, my daughter lives in Baja. You should get in touch with her. So it was always in the back of my head. And we're riding down to Baja on our bikes. And so I reach out to this lady, and I said, what's your daughter's name? And I reach out to her, and I said, we're riding right now from Ontario, which is where she's from, but she lives in Baja now, down to Cabo, which is where you are. And you know, any tips of riding through Baja would be amazing. And also we're thinking about storing our bikes once we get down there. So if you know anybody, she gets back to me about an hour later and says, that's amazing. I love that story. Yeah, you want to make sure you don't pass up any fuel stations, take fuel with you, don't ride at night. She gave me some tips. And then she said, and as far as storing your bike, you can leave them at our shop and no charge. I'm like, pardon? Yeah, no, you can keep them here. I'm like, oh my gosh. So we basically
Gagnon.
winning Gagnon. We told them it was going to be a couple months, and it turned out to be a year. But they never bat an eyelash. They were there. They took good care of them. I think they washed them for us.
Yeah, I mean, when we got
Wow.
there, he was like, check this out. And there was a Honda African Twin that some guy had left there, and it had been like 5 years.
It was still
It's still there, man.
So if
I said, look at this. It's there.
If anybody wants an Africa Twin to ride around Baja,
Yeah, we know where
He
there's
was
one.
pretty much set to like, okay, I think now's the
I'm going to
time.
rekey the goddamn thing and sell it. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, and that was like the end of our riding trip. It was pretty epic.
Nice.
Yeah.
I liked it. It's
Yeah.
good. Well,
And is this a segment into the next one?
Yeah, well, I mean,
so me and Jay stored our bikes there for a year.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
we didn't really have a plan for riding them back. And so over the year, we kind of stewed over that. And we kind of came up with this concept, or rather you came up with this concept of...
Yeah. I was going to go, we're going to fly down with the family, hang out, have a vacation. Originally, it was either I was going to ride my bike home. I'm getting it home regardless. Or I had talked to Tim Lett at the motorcycle show. Mm-hmm. And he told me about this guy that could transport our bikes from California back to Toronto. So that was in the back of my head. And I thought, well, I'm either going to ride it from Cabo to California or Cabo to home. And then thinking about the time of the year, Cabo to home didn't sound like it was going to work.
I was hoping you would do it, though, because that'd be epic.
It would have been epic.
And I would laugh at you as soon as you hit about, like...
I need snow tires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Tennessee, we like start snowing.
Yeah, plus 6 and raining would have been
Although
nice.
now that we know what the weather was going to be
Yeah.
like, you probably could have done it.
I could have done it.
Because like the temperatures up until today were about the same as when we left.
Yeah, true. It
Rainy
would have been
and 6
possible.
degrees.
Yeah,
so there's a plan in the works
yeah,
Oh, maybe.
and a vacation in the works.
yeah. And then I think
So-
I'd mentioned it. I had brought it up, and Lee's like, oh, "Shit,
Hey, wait.
hey,
What's going on here?
Yeah, I might be interested in something like that."
So
So
like, whoa.
yeah.
Lee's not riding my motherfucking bicycle.
So stay tuned for the next episode, folks, because it's going to be a good one.